Welcome back to Rap Drinks. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan, and today we are joined by Joe Bearese. Joe is the co-owner of Metro Camera Cars. He drives the rigs, and he's also a stunt driver. So, Joe, thanks so much for being on the show. Super excited to have you. Cheers. My first question to you is it true that, driving these camera rigs on wheels makes you a rock star on set when you pull up? Everybody's just super pumped to fucking see you.
Yeah, I think the rig is the rock star. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ditch these. I think the rig is the rock star. It's like, we're not the rock. We are the redheaded stepchilds. We show up, they put us in the corner, we prep, we do everything on our own. Mm-hmm. And then like everybody wants to walk by like, oh, look at this cool thing. And it's big and it's fun. And then they forget about us. And
don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. But that's pretty much it, yeah.
So as someone who's probably never heard of what Metro Camera Cars is or what car rigging is for cameras, like what is it that your company provides? Like what is it that you guys do? Why would a producer be calling you?
Yeah, I mean, right now we have chase vehicles that we typically are doing car commercials, stunt scenes and things like that for theatrical stuff. So you're calling us because, you have a guy on a bike who's racing through some traffic and you want to track him, or you have some cars that you want to, smash up and shoot them while they're in motion. But you can call us for pretty much anything. You want to do some exterior shots, rolling B-roll for we've done B-roll for like horror movie where they want just like this like weird floating camera. It's like, it's just cameras that move, but move at vehicle speeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So nothing slower than 30 miles per hour, probably.
It gets harder the slower you go sometimes. But yeah, I mean, whatever you need. We used to have more like low-speed electric vehicles. Mm-hmm. We have, it's the e-trike, which kind of got like New York indie famous, like carrying Steadicam operators.
I've definitely seen that thing, yeah.
Yeah, and we've handed that off to a buddy, Russ Chave, who's a great dude, and he lives in Queens, so it's much easier for him to operate and own this rig. For us, because we moved our company upstate, it was a pain in the ass to be like a city company with this little, essentially a bike with a rigging on it. And, we used to have like a bunch of little things like that, electric car, the e-trike, and we've kind of moved away from that and just doing full-size vehicles now.
Yeah, and I know you got different rigs for like different types of jobs,
for different
right?
folks.
Yeah, so can you walk us through like some of that stuff, like some of the options?
Yeah, so so other camera car companies around, sometimes, the camera car name gets thrown around with different rigs, but it's like, what is a camera car? Camera car is, a thing that has cameras on it that is moving. Mm-hmm. That could be process trailer, so the insert car, the truck that pulls the trailer, that is a camera car. We don't have that stuff right now. We're doing like some tow dolly stuff on occasion. That's not really our bag. We have what we call a chase car, which is just post mounts or like speed rail, pipe, whatever, and then a stabilizer. You hang a big old remote head off of it. Fancy car, it's fast, it's got monitors in there, it's great for stunts and moving around or shooting plates, put a plate rig on it. But the real, like, the show pony is the Russian arm or the Ukraine or the arm car or whatever you want to call it. We've had a bunch of different types, so they've all different names, whatever.
Right.
But it's basically a car with big old crane on top. Guy moves the crane around, camera operator moves the head around, I drive the thing, and, it's the most, what's the word? It's the most recognizable of the camera car rigs, so everybody kind of like knows what it is, but maybe they don't know the name of it. And that's kind of that's the show pony.
So you're driving the vehicle, but then you have someone probably in the back that's like, you have an AC in the back that's pulling focus on the camera. Yep. Like, so you also have other crew. Yeah.
5 people.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, are they all in that one car?
Yeah. During COVID, there was like this, like, maybe we can put them in a different vehicle. That does not work. That does not.
How would they ever thought that?
Well, Ronins and Movies and all that stuff, they're all like wirelessly controlled, so
and then they got to keep up.
Unsuccessful.
Yeah. So it's like
unsuccessful.
You're essentially just driving a train at that point.
Yes. Yeah, well, that was the limiting factor, is like, well, I have to be so close for the video signal to make it to that, so that never worked.
But so it's like you're the driver, you've got a guy moving the crane, a guy moving the head on the camera, and then an AC keeping focus.
And the boss.
And the director. Okay. Cool.
So in our car, or in this current configuration, it'll be like me driving with the director, or maybe it's a stunt coordinator or somebody next to me. And then behind me is the camera operator. And then next to them is the arm operator, and the AC get in the trunk. It's
sounds about right.
it's like that. We like it like this. We've been doing this for a little while. It's nice because the arm operator and myself have to kind of be in sync, and we're talking. And if he's directly behind me, it gets hard to communicate. And I don't like having open comms because then people start really jumping on top of each other. But we have communication this way. Exactly. And then, you're doing all the creative stuff with, like, if Bert is the director, because Bert would be the director, we'd be doing it like this, and we could have a nice chat while they talk about tech nerd stuff back there. Yeah.
Is all of that like, are you guys the head? Like, do you provide the stabilizers and everything like that?
Our crew is the 3 people with the 3 main pieces of equipment, right? There's the car, there's the apparatus in this. If we're talking about the Ukraine, it's the crane itself, and then there's the remote head. Okay. And if it's, just a chase car, it's just like me and a head tech.
How'd you get into that?
Yeah, what was that journey like for you to even get into this point?
Yeah.
It seems like something that's like
We
so
don't have enough
special.
time
Well, because it's like you're running a camera car, so I'm assuming that's camera department. That's 600 if you're doing a union thing, but you're also driving, which is technically a stunt thing, which is 52 here in New York. Like, where is this?
Stunt is SAG.
Yes,
Sorry. Yes.
I think it gets mixed up with, like, effects sometimes.
Yeah,
I think it's still
right.
52.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then it's also a car, so I'm sure Teamsters love you.
I had like a decade of camera first, right? Came out of film school, was like doing camera stuff. So it was like ACing a little bit, DPing pretty much from the jump, and just grinding it out doing that. And I fell out of love with it because it's not for me. I'm so, like, task oriented. If you give me the task, I will die for the task. So it's like start to finish doing a commercial job and going through all the politics of all of that. And I kind of fell out of love with the process, but, like, doing the job was great. Okay, well, I don't get to just do the job. Maybe you could be a camera operator, maybe you can get the phone call, but you can't be a DP and do that. So I kind of started walking away from that, and, I had performance driving experience from, like, being, like, interested in that stuff from when I was, like, in my early 20s. Reached out to a stunt buddy. How do I do this? I want to be a stuntman. I want to be a stunt driver is really what I told him. And he goes, you don't. You're either a stunt performer who does all of these different things, fight, fall, blah, 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 or maybe you're like an ex-race car driver with a high pedigree, and then you're going to, like, get into stunt driving. And, but, like, you have to do a little bit of everything. And so that was kind of like the turning point. I was like, okay, sure. And then I did it. And then I walked away from camera. And the second you decide, for the people at home, on making a career change, the phone will stop ringing. They will stop calling you for camera stuff. They will stop calling you for whatever your past life was. You're doing that new thing. Like, you fucking decided. If you said it out loud once, you decided.
Yeah. You also have to turn that stuff down, right? Like, actively.
If you want to commit fully to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to commit to the change, and then so there's the priorities, right? It's like, well, I would like to have this fight with this gentleman on camera. Okay, well, then I can't take that, corporate video job or whatever the hell it is.
Right.
But if everybody stops calling you and you can't survive in that amount of time while you're training or learning the skills or doing the thing, it becomes incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
What happened for me, and this is where the camera car business comes in, is I was doing the stunt stuff. I got injured during training, broke a collarbone. Shit happens. Oh, shoot. And then I just had this moment of, like, well, I can't have my body attached to my ability to make money, right? I can't put a camera on my shoulder now. I can't do the punchy kickies. So what do I do?
Technical term.
Yeah. So I have all of this camera knowledge and experience, and it's not for nothing, and it has been incredibly valuable. But then I have all this driving stuff that I would like to do. Maybe I just cram it all together. That decision gets made in 2018 or end of 2017. So well, what are we missing in the market? Well, we're missing something that's cheap and local and, like, for the non-union crowd. Like, all my, like, indie buddies shooting movies. I shot a bunch of features and did all this shitty rigging with car rigs and stuff. And I was like, well, we could fix that. We can do those photos that are up on the wall of these people doing unsafe things with cars.
Those are all completely legal. What are you talking about? Safety's a scale.
Safety is third. They did claim it third, right? It's like, it's coffee, go fast, safety. Yeah. But, from that point, I was like, okay, well, I can make something for the little guy. And that very quickly was, like, not cool. They were like, no, we need bigger, heavier cameras on these little gimbals. Okay, well, you need a bigger crane and a bigger car. And the company had to grow from like, not hobby level, but from like, oh, I have a very niche purpose for this thing, and like we have like one piece of gear, up to now we're partnered with like the I guess the most well-known or like the biggest arm car tech company, you know, like the originators of the Russian arm, which is now called the Ukraine or whatever. Like those are our guys. Yeah. So we went from like scrappy little local thing to like being part of like a thing that's bigger than us, which is great. It's like, it's the pinnacle of technology and it's where you want to be. But, you know, I've also learned that the world that I'm in is now, I'm pot committed. I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a rough one.
A lot of politics when you get up to that, like stuff that you weren't expecting to have to deal with.
Yeah, logistics, politics, government stuff, you know, like you're getting into, you know, owning commercial vehicles and things, and getting into transportation and interstate stuff, and and then dealing with the differences between commercials and movies and TV and the different crews and indie stuff, and, you know, Teamsters want this and the stunts want that, and the, you know, commercials, the agency books the talent and they won't do your contract, and so you got to go non-union, and you're the only. It's like all this like weird little things that but I've learned, if I wasn't doing this, I would be dumber. Like it's taught me so much, but it's fucking hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Dying over
for
here.
sure. So what was your first camera car job like? What was do you remember that experience?
Yeah.
He says with a grin.
Yeah, it was fun. She knows who she is. Producer, text her one day, hey, we're getting this little thing. You know, we were like already like modifying the car to accept the crane, which we had went and tested. We tested a very small, very, you know, at the time it was like the only thing that you could get. And now it's kind of laughable, like what it was and how ineffective it was. Way too slow, way too small, but it's not what, it was a first product from a small company, right? And I go, oh, we're getting this thing, and, you know, it's going to be cool. Like, we'll have it available. And she goes, well, what about, I don't know, name it Tuesday. And it's like, well, we don't have it. I mean, I guess it shows up on Monday, you know? And it was one of those, like, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. And I was honest. I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. We haven't finished it yet, you know? And as it went on, it was like this big stunt scene going over the Queensboro Bridge, going through a grid of whatever, and it was a shit show. And it was not it was like their third time reshooting it. So it was this, so everybody knows who they are. This is like, this is bigger than me. I said like, yes, because I gave you the warning, and then you said, let's roll the dice, was literally what you said. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, ass. You know? And so I was like, okay, you know, like we'll do the best we can. And as that prep developed, this is the fucking crazy part. We hadn't even done anything yet. We hadn't done jobs yet. So I'm not pretending to be anybody. I'm just saying we have this thing. They go, can we put 2 cameras on the rig? I go, what do you mean? They go, well, they want like another one. And then, so the one is booming up and down, and it's like, we're going to be pulling. Pulling means the camera's in the back, right? Imagine there's a string behind you, you're pulling something. That's the direction of the camera. So arm's going like this, and the other camera's just on like a black arm, like a stabilizer. And so they want 2 Ronins kind of doing this. We had never done a fucking job with this thing before, and I'm like, this is too, like, we don't have the manpower for this. They didn't have the manpower for it. But it's also their third time reshooting. The ACs were checked out. Nobody wanted anything to do with us or this extra difficulty. And of course, you know, we didn't have the time. The camera packages were way too big, and this is still like, you know, Ronin 2 was like new, especially to us. And we're like, it was a major failure, but it was a failure that I warned you. Right. We didn't do the 2 camera. They couldn't get it prepped in time, so they're like, fuck it, throw it out. And it was still, it was a disaster.
Oh my God.
Do you remember what the shot was? So you were pulling camera, you were leading?
Yeah, I won't say the names of the people, but the stunt guy's going through a grid. A grid of cars are like staggered. To the camera, here we go. Staggered cars, like there's one here, you know, like this. And then, you know, the hero car, the bad guy is going to go through it. Yeah, they're going to weave through it. And so we're pulling them through it, and the camera's just like, they just need like little bits, because I'm sure they shot a fuck ton of this footage already. Right. So they just needed like a little bit of motion. I don't know. I mean, we didn't get very far. It didn't work well. We only did it once, and it was like, meh, you know, enough of that. Yeah.
And then they were just like, why?
That was like the arm wasn't working well?
The arm was fine. It was the building the camera into the head.
Okay.
Because at that time, they gave us these huge, I think it was like a anamorphic zoom lens that just
God.
did like we could not in like 20 minutes get this thing balanced
Weighted,
on
yeah.
on a Ronin when we had like barely any experience with like this on. Then you have to tune it for the apparatus that you're on. They all like respond differently. We didn't have the time, so they were like rushing us. They got us out there. I look at the head in the mirror. I go, oh, it's doing something fun, and it was it. It was over.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a waste.
Oh,
But that's like welcome to
Still got paid.
somewhat. Yeah.
What was that? What was that car rig like? What car? What?
Oh yeah, we started with a Honda Fit,
Hey.
which is what I owned at the time, and I love this. This is how warped I was like. We want something small for the indie crowd. It'd be fun to have a little thing that can go in tight places that you can't put a big truck or an SUV with this big huge crane. I thought it would be a fun novelty that you can use creatively. Boy, was that not smart. Like it's like was it 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. Like that's how camera is. And they just go like, well, but here's this thing. Like, let's just put 6 people in it and put all this extra stuff on it. And I go, it's
a Honda Fit. I can speak. It can hold 13 kegs.
So
I mean, that can hold 6 people.
it's the best car I've ever owned.
He loved the Honda Fit.
I just switched out of the Honda Fit after like
What do you have now?
Ford EcoSport. It's basically a Honda Fit on a lift kit.
Well, that's disappointing. That's disappointing. I should go get a Honda Fit.
I don't like the interior changed after 2014. I don't like the new interiors.
Yeah, because he used to keep pennies up in this like one specific cup holder. So
I used to. So yeah, when I was working in New York a lot, people are assholes. Like there's very specific roads where it's like if you're in the left lane, you're getting into a tunnel instead of a bridge, and now you're in the wrong borough. And so people would always drive up on the left, and there were so many times people almost just ran into my car. I kept a cup of washers in my door that I could just fucking huck at anybody that like almost ran me off the road. It's like, I get it, I'm a small car, but I'm a fucking asshole. So you're gonna get a dent when you fucking try to run me out.
I do appreciate that because at first I'm judging you, but I'm going back now because I'm like, you could have bought a Hummer and tried to like run them off the road.
No, it's I'm the little guy protecting myself.
You're just like, no, you're the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
As a little guy, I go like, yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, that's fine. Oh my god,
Dude,
So
at least you got through the job and nothing broke. Hopefully everything was fine.
no, nothing broke. It just was unsuccessful. And there have been a few like unsuccessful days, not many, thankfully, but it's always like going to be tech related. But tech can be fixed, so it's always a big thing from when I first started was. People don't know how to integrate with us. They don't know, especially because I built this thing to be like, oh, I'll be everybody's like first kiss. Like they haven't had a chance to use one of these or they haven't had a chance to operate in one of these before. And then we'll be that and we'll learn together in the beginning, but then grow it quickly. And I think the big thing that came with what I was trying to build was like what's the word for it? It's gonna be an awkward pause here, but some accountability. It's like it's not on the grips. It's not on production to figure it out. It's like, no, you call us. We have our little system. Mm-hmm. We'll bring it out. We'll do it safely. You have a good driver. You have like this gear that we built, or that we rigged.
Like an all-inclusive sort of package.
Yeah, which is how it is, but not at that scale, not for the little guy.
Yeah.
That didn't really work out like I've been joking about, but that was the idea behind it, and that has kept true. It's just built and got a little bigger.
So with the Honda, did you buy like a arm and just
so
put it on your own car?
A company called Motocrane.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of different products now, but that was their first thing, and they had like some, I'm not going to speak for them, but I think it was like they had some like investor money. They made this little crane. It was like 9 feet or something like it's small and slow and wasn't good, but it was the only crane that you could like, that they could like mass produce. I think they made like 50 of them or whatever it is. That's not mass producing, but for this level of technology, like how many of these fucking things do you want?
Repeatability or what?
We'll talk about how market saturation later, but it is oversaturated because that thing's still kicking around somewhere. I don't know who has it, but we had this little thing and, we bought it from them. And then 6 months later, we upgraded to their next thing because they built a new thing immediately. And, that's it. It's just like little tiny 12-foot arm, kind of dinky.
And when you called them and were like, I'm going to put this on a Honda Fit, where they were like,
awesome.
Cool.
They were stoked. I mean, that's why he made, give the guy credit. Like they were like, yeah, this is cool. We want to see it put on different things. You can't put a full-size U-crane on a Honda Fit. It will not work. Granted, this wasn't the right product. It wasn't good enough at the time, but it was the only thing, and we were trying something, and it was, it's where we started. It's fine.
So is there a reason, like, I guess when a lot of people think of like the ARM car or whatever, they're looking at a Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the one. Why a fucking Porsche?
Or a Mercedes. Yeah.
Like, is there really no lower level car that is worthy of putting this giant arm on?
Short answer, now, snobbery.
Okay.
But
I'm
it's legit.
I want
It's
to know.
legit. There's no reason why you couldn't take like a cop car, like the Explorer ST motor. It was 400 horsepower, V6 twin turbo. It's a great car. It's got beefy suspension. It's got big brakes in the decent brakes in the front. It's a big, strong car. No reason you couldn't put a crane on that. Yeah. But why would you put it on a Ford? Like our second car, I'll give you the lineage, and this will kind of answer. Is like, well, we need a bigger car, and we need to prioritize the operators because they need to be comfortable. This is what we learned. That was a problem with the Honda, which we thought had a different use case. Well, okay, throw that out. We got a Ford Edge. We souped it up. Big brakes, better suspension, did the whole thing. The reason we picked that car, transverse engine, means the engine is sideways, not long ways. So there's more, the front seats are pushed forward, more room for the operators in the back. Mm-hmm. All the fucking people, why did you pick a Ford? Everybody else using a Cayenne. Like, fucking Christ, man. I was thinking of you, and then, but they don't care.
It's just straight up the snootiness. It's like it's eyewash. They want to. It looks important.
And then when they're in it, they're super happy. It was comfortable, but it wasn't fast enough.
What if you had put like a Porsche Cayenne?
Yeah, just throw a Porsche.
There was a point in time where I was like, maybe I'll just rip the badges off. What is it? And you just go, I don't know. I found it.
It's a cop car. It's got
custom.
cop brakes, cop engine, cop.
The Porsche Interceptor. So that's, you can put it on something else. Mm-hmm. You can, and there's like Toyota Tundras, Raptors.
I wasn't sure if it was like
when
you call the ARM company, they sell you the whole package. I wasn't sure if it was something like that.
No. We've outfitted every car up until the current rig that we have now. We've outfitted every car ourselves. You buy the crane, or you lease the crane, or you have a partnership or a deal or something. You're not making the car. You could try and make one yourself. People have done it. They're not going to be as good. But yeah, early on, we thought like this is the kind of thing that we should own all the pieces. We put together our package and we rent it out, and we control what we can rent it for. And it's such a hard game. Like it's not a, because you're keeping up with the Joneses, because the things that we're talking about, like our current rig, right, that we've moved up through now is a Porsche Cayenne with a Ukraine 6 and a Flighthead 6S. It's the pinnacle, right? It's the best. It's $750,000. The value. Okay. Damn. I can put a new car under it because we could do that. We've done that to 5 different cars. I can do that. I'm not going to make the fucking crane. Somebody has to do it. So that somebody's going to come in, they're going to sell it to you for hundreds of thousands. No, they're probably going to lease it to you, rent it to you, something like that. So
it's almost like a Fisher. Like
yes.
nobody owns the Fisher.
But why couldn't you own a Fisher? It's because they said so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a little bit of that, and then when the technology gets old enough, it gets sold to other people, and that's a little inside baseball, but it's just business. They want the biggest, they want the heaviest, they want the fastest, the strongest. It's like for 2 idiots in a garage in upstate New York, it's like, I'm sorry, we can't own all this and like keep afloat. We need some help. Right. And that was very obvious when we were losing jobs. We were, Ely Barta, great stunt driver, arm car driver for Filmotechnic. He's stunt coordinator. He's great. He told me one day over the phone, he goes, everybody likes you. You're doing a great job, but your gear sucks. And I was like,
this is before you had what you have now.
Uh-huh. And I went, damn. Okay. That's the wake-up call. It's like we can keep trying, or you can have, like, we needed an angel investor or somebody to believe in us. Filmotechnic comes around. They say, oh, maybe we want to partner with you. That deal falls through. We buy the Mercedes GLC with the big top crane. Like, now we have, like, strong stuff, but we still own it. And then they come in and partner with us afterwards. I'm like, fuck, we spent all this money. But you need that because, like, to do this, in 10 years, it's like the margins aren't there. I'd rather be a Steadicam operator if I wanted to make money. I'd rather still be I'd be a fucking camera assistant. I'm going to make more money than I make now, and I will make in the future. It's not a great way to make money. It's not a smart business move. Don't fucking do it.
Well, so to that point, you're saying that like you've got $750,000 invested in your rig. It's valued at that.
Yes, not including truck and trailer. So
how much is somebody paying for it to show up to set?
not enough. Not enough. So,
but you're saying you started marketing yourself towards the lower tier people.
Yeah, when we first started,
I'm
I think I was
assuming
charging.
you don't do that now, but
That's tricky.
You
I'm
do,
not,
but
I'm
you
not
don't.
afraid
Yeah.
to talk
Right,
about it.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying it's tricky. Like, so it's like we started, I think we were like, it'll be like $3,000 plus 2 guys or 3 guys. And it'd be, like out the door, you're going to spend 50 something hundred. But like, that was for like little bullshit gigs that are just to help people that we know and keep it cheap. We were never the problem financially. Shutting down the roads, having the support. I mean, half the time people don't understand that like what you're doing with vehicles, whether they are quote unquote stunts in your mind. It's like, no, you need a stunt coordinator and performers.
Police
And
detail.
even if you want the actor doing it, you should probably have a double, and there should be lockup. If you can't do lockup, there should be rolling block, and we should have the cops with TCD with us. Like, we were never the big problem. And like, so now we're at the pinnacle and we're not making much more than we were then. And it's because the rates are kind of homogenized from East Coast to West Coast. So we're partnered with a company that's based out of the West Coast. They have rigs all over the place. So, if you like me, you can call me to drive anywhere in the United States. But it's a little over $4,000. You get all the fucking things, right? You get the car, the arm, it's the transpo, it's the head, whatever. All right, cool. Like, that's super attainable. But I was charging more with my previous rig because like I needed to survive.
Right,
but that's the homogenized rate with everybody. It's the race to the bottom. I think somebody was telling me, like an older cat was telling me, like 10 or so years ago, like in Europe, it was like 16,000 euros to rent the thing, and he goes, now it's like it's like 6 or something like that. And I was
just because so many more people have it.
I would have assumed it was closer to 10.
For what?
With
Describe what
all
you
the
think
bells
10
and
with people?
whistles, with people, and yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's closer to with people. It's closer to 10.
Yeah.
Sure. Like the labor of 3, depending if it's like
Because they're
union transportation, and you have a Teamster as well. That's a
do
4th
it
person.
without those people.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you need someone to drive it. You need someone to operate the crane, right?
Yeah.
And then who's the third person on your team?
The head technician.
Got it.
So a remote head, like you'd have like a Movi tech or it's like that, but for big heads too. You need somebody who knows how to use it and whatever. And we have some guys that can operate as well, because you might show up on a job and there's no camera operator goes like, oh no, I don't do the joysticks or the I don't do that. And you go like, okay, cool. Or there's fucking 8 cameras and he's like, DP's being a DP and you're like an extra thing.
Right.
So we have certain people, like I try and make sure I know beforehand. So it's like, this person's a gangster with a joystick and they're going to get everything you need. And you pay a slight premium for that person, but it's
Problem
3
solved.
musketeers. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you have to do it. But yeah, it's like, just financially, it's not that crazy to get us. It's like, can you do all the other things?
Yeah.
Are you prepared
Right.
for the logistics involved? And I will talk ad nauseum about that. Like, just call me. Like, and we'll talk for an hour. I don't care. Like, do you have this? This is insurance. This is, the permits. This is, no, we won't do this. Or I don't think you should do it like that because I think it's, like, I'm fucking,
Right.
all day. I'll talk about it.
When you show up to set, like, is there any sort of department that specifically should be interfacing with you, or how they, like, when like a techno crane shows up, it's like the grip department's usually helping unload it. They help weight it up. Anything like, are you working with any departments when you show up?
Start to finish on the day, it's like, we'll deal with transportation so we can make sure we can get there. Obviously, we dealt with production to book the job.
Yeah.
We had some sort of technical talk with somebody, maybe the second AC, maybe the A first or somebody, like DP maybe, like what they want to get, so that we know what camera we're working with, whatever. So we've already had some interactions. We show up, AC, bring us the camera as it's going to fly. Just hand it off.
Lens and everything?
Lens, filters, all your motors.
Yeah.
Don't give me some half-built camera because
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything. But give us the full thing, and then stand back, and then let the head tech, finger fuck the camera and move the things around and do all that, and bring bring your kit with you. I want all the filters that you're going to use because you know they're going to change filters at last minute, and you get,
Right.
you know, it's like just swapping things out really quick. So you plan for all these little tricks to be fast and efficient. And the grips will, a good key grip will come over and be like, do you need anything? And I'll say no. And then they'll be like, fucking great. And then they'll walk away, and that's it. But like,
That's the interaction.
Well, now all the key groups will see this, be like, I don't need to talk to that guy.
well, I just come up and pretend like you care, you know? Come up with like, you know, a cigarette in one hand and like a coffee in the other, but you need anything? Yeah. Like, that's cool. But yeah, like we don't really need, you know, VTR come up, maybe they'll put like an antenna or some radio or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had one guy duct tape a laptop to one of my seats.
Nice.
Yo.
Legitimate black duct tape. And that laptop was on the floor so fast because the second I saw it, I was like, nope, I'm sorry. You disrespect my car, that is going on the floor.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
It's a Porsche. Here's some duct tape.
Yeah. Yeah, that we integrate with everybody we need to integrate with technologically there. No, you know, the electrics might say, you know, do you need anything to get charged or whatever, which is awesome. If you're doing a multi-day job, we might need to bump, you know, like bumping a dolly. It's like, we have to charge this fucking batteries on this thing, you know? But, you know, we have a generator and other systems. We don't.
You guys are
we don't
pretty
need-
self-contained. if
We
you need
have to be
yeah.
because like I made the joke about the redheaded stepchild. Like we show up and they're just like, yeah, you go over there, you do your thing. We're over here with the main, you know, shenanigans
get to
here.
you
Yeah,
when
we'll,
we get to
we'll
you.
get to you. And then they throw the camera at you. Go, we have to be up in 10 minutes. You go, that's not how this works. You know, like we have a fancy robot here that I need to make sure is happy so that you can get all the fancy shots that you want. Sure, I'll do it in 9 minutes because now I've just described it to you. But it, you know, that's the chaos of it. You know, so that's why I say like education is really important. Like knowing how this thing shows up, how much space it takes up when you're shooting in the city. It's like, yes, we bring it in on a trailer. No, I'm not going to self-drive it anymore. Like we did that early on because we wanted to be small and nimble. So, you know, if something goes wrong or, you know, you're doing stunts, somebody hits you, it's like, no, this thing's coming up on a trailer. You know, we need like 50 feet or something like that. It's like, there's a lot of logistics. But if you call me, I can talk about it, get you up to speed, and then there's no surprises. I haven't been surprised by anything because I'm intimate with it. I know this equipment. I know the process. I know the workflow. I talk to the stunt coordinators. I talk to the other drivers. I talk to the talent who've never driven with a thing like this in their face, like right here, and I'm giving them direction in real time. But, you know, you don't have to learn that, you know, on the day. You can call and then we can talk about it. You know, before you buy something, you usually like, you know, you test it out. Maybe if you like a car, you might go rent it from a rental place and be like, oh, we'll go to the dealership and drive it around for a couple of minutes. You can call us and get a feel for us before, or any company, anywhere you are in the world with this. It's like, don't just be like, I would love to do that. I'll wait for it to show up.
Right.
It's like, call, demystify, talk through the details. I mean, you're a producer, right? Yeah, like,
It seems kind of crazy that someone would be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna figure it out on."
Yeah,
the day.
no, I'd have so many questions. I'd be like, what do you need? Like, what do I need to give you?
people will call and then they will be like, yeah, we got this commercial. Okay, cool. Here's the paperwork. They go, okay, great. Here's how much it costs. And they go, okay, great. And they pay. And I go, hey, can I talk to so-and-so about the camera? They go, oh, it's an Alexa 35. I go, okay. And, you know, like, what am I going to do? Not take the money and not show up? If you don't have permits or police or whatever, it's like, that's not my problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you see a call sheet and you go like, oh boy, we're in for it today. And then you show up and they have nothing prepared and you're like, well, I'm sorry, we can't shoot here. You know, that is like maybe happened once. Usually people, I'm pretty good at like sussing them out early on, and because I don't want anybody to get hurt or do anything stupid, or I don't want anybody to be disappointed, or just because you don't know.
Do people think you can just drive around New York with?
Oh my god! At full speed.
That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah. It's like a fire truck, right? It's just-
Right.
Yeah.
You got the permits, right?
Yeah, you just put a
You have
flashing light on the top.
permit.
And then,
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I think people don't. I say people, like in general, right? We are professionals, right? Not we, me, like all of us, right? We all have like a job. Like you're a producer, we do micros.
DP, yeah.
DPing, right?
Grip and electric.
So professional cigarette smoker. Right? It's like, so it's like
I met you gripping.
I needed the money. I needed the money.
I love that you say like I'm not a grip. I'm not a grip. That's how I met
I
you.
was all right. I was all right at gripping. I could push a fucking muscle cart like nobody's bad. Low center of gravity, just get down. Sexy time, get the hips low.
Are you good at busting balls? You're great. There you go. You're on
The ball buster is my favorite part. That one big thing, people go like, "That's half his size. Look at him. He's so impressive." I go, "I don't know how to tie the knots. I don't know the knots." The fuck was I talking about?
Just people showing
Right,
up.
people
Showing up, yeah.
It's like if you're a grip, key grip, third grip, 10th grip, whatever. It's just like if you're like, I'm curious about this stuff, and you're like, oh, I want to learn about hood mounts, and you call me, like, oh, I'm sorry, that's not what we do. But that's okay that you called because you can look for knowledge infinitely. Nobody should look down on you for that. The problem that I've had is I've had like camera operators, DPs jump in the car and go like, I've never done it before. And it's like, well, you didn't think to ask, or
Right.
maybe like hire somebody who has, or like, is it ego? I don't know. But, if you're a producer or, maybe if you're an AD and you're like, how does the day run? I've never gotten to work with one of these things, or like we've never done a process trailer or tow dolly. It's like, well, just call me and it's like, let's talk about it. And I've had people call and had like an hour-long conversation and they go, oh my God, thank God I had this conversation because we would have picked the wrong roads. There were speed bumps on all the roads that the director picked. It's like, yeah, because you look at the speed bump and you go, oh, we'll go slow.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that will fuck your day up. The job done. Like you smashing, breaking suspension, breaking cameras, actors going like this in the car. It's like, it looks like shit. It's like, can't use it. So one little detail and you go, oh, you saved the day.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be the hero. It's just like all of us in our professions, like, do you want to get better at it? It's like, well, go ask questions. Educate yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we've joked that like on the scouts, there should always be like, take your most disgruntled crew member and put them on the scout so that when they pull up to a location, you can say, this is a one-way street. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like there's all overhead wires. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Like you're at the top of a hill. This is stupid.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of folks that are in a position, like say you're in production, right? And I have so much sympathy for producers because they are like, especially in New York where the logistics are incredibly difficult. Parking, getting people from point A to point B, it's like they have a limited amount of money. These things are incredibly expensive to, set up for the day and run. It's like they're just trying to get through it. And, they're trying to make the client happy or keep the director happy or whoever it is that's happy, and then that goes all the way down to like, the grip's going like, yeah, I'll just push this all the way up the block and, this dolly back and forth, instead of getting a rickshaw or something like every like little decision you're like, I'll just do this to make the next person happy. It's like, but if you had a little bit more knowledge going into it, you could maybe solve some of these problems and, make a better product along the way.
Yeah.
But we're all kind of just trying to get through it, and there's a lot of that. And I get it. It's just like, I don't demonize anybody for not knowing anything because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
But like, I'm lucky where I'm in this part of my career now where I don't have to integrate with the lighting and the grip stuff anymore. Like, I don't have to like know all that shit. Like when I was doing camera, I had to know more and I was kind of more well-rounded, I guess, in my search for knowledge. Now it's all like tunnel vision on like stunts, stunt driving, camera car. But, I'm still picking up little things along the way.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
on the mic. Okay.
I'm curious about, so I know you operate in New York. What are the logistics like in New York compared to fucking, I don't know.
New York's rough.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year, cold, New York, gray, raining every day. Nobody's shooting car commercials here. It's ugly. It's just ugly. And, this isn't a haven for that. But we do have TV. We do have some movies, so like we'll shoot that here. You go to other markets, right? You go to the West Coast, like they're shooting more car commercials. Okay, you go to New Mexico or Arizona where they have like cactuses and these long straight roads. You're going to shoot that stuff there.
Yeah.
New York is particularly difficult. Yeah, some seasons are not so pretty, but also there's no such thing as lockup. Like you have a road locked up, crackhead comes across the street. It's like, well, we're not locked up anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like there was a big crash in the city with some stunt stuff, and like they limited the speed limit for vehicles in these scenes to be the speed limit, which is like always a wink wink, but it's, there was that, and also then the arm was no longer allowed to be outside of the lane that the camera car is traveling in. So directors will come in from out of town and they'll go, okay, put the arm out over here and go up and over. So we go, ooh, we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want to. We want a party.
even
but
if you
we can't.
even if you own the street.
Like I said,
There
you
is
don't
no-
actually own it.
There's no lockup.
There is a certain amount of money that I've seen that will like, You know, like, you
Yeah.
know, there's like those moments, but it's not out in the open. Like, yeah, just fucking willy-nilly swinging the arm around. Not here. It's not
Yeah.
gonna, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's just New York City.
That is like a New York thing. I've stunt coordinated these commercials with, I've done a bunch of Univision commercials, and we've gone all over the U.S. and all these different towns. And, you know, I'm talking to the cops there and like, hey, what can we do? Okay, what are you cool with? And go, as long as you do your thing, keep it safe, whatever, go for it. Really? We could just do, yeah, we're going to lock this whole thing up for you, this long stretch. We have 2 guys in the back, 2 guys. I'm like, oh my God, this is a dream. Why would anybody shoot in New York? It's like, because it's New York. Like there's
Right.
something to it that you can't replicate. But if you want to just shoot like a big, beautiful vistas and all this, and have the camera swinging from one side to the other, it's like you need room to do that.
Yeah.
There is no room here. And that all comes from that. It's like, well, if there's no room, then you're playing with inches. So don't play at all.
So what's
kinda
the
what
if
happens.
you've got like a 15-foot arm on your thing now?
This is right now it's 14 foot, and you can go to 21.
So it extends.
No, it's
It's two
There is
different-
an extension.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's 14 or 21 feet in front of or behind the car.
From the fulcrum is roughly over the center of the vehicle, so it will, you know, stick out.
Yeah.
Couple
But
of
it's
feet
not
off.
left and right, is what you're saying.
Well, if you swing, if you put it out on the left, I mean, the from the pivot point, it's like, yeah, it's only like 3 feet. So like, yeah, it's like 10 feet off the side, 11 feet off the side. It's fucking big.
Yeah, that's huge for New York. That's
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You know, a lane that's not like commercial truck friendly is, you know, especially with people double parking, that it's like the width of a car.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have a 2 lane, you can do like a rear 3/4 or front 3, whatever. But if you have 1 lane, and we got like, we're just peeking over the side a little bit. That's all you can do, and it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
I know that you've also worked on like a spot here for F1 and for Red Bull.
Okay. Yeah.
Big F1
I
fan.
was, I was waiting to bring this up.
Okay. This is one of those examples that I said where, like, you know, there's a certain amount of money that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rules change.
This is where I was. This is what I was leading up to, because
All right.
yeah, you know, you say there's no lockup, but yeah, definitely if you start putting enough money in front of people,
Sure.
maybe. But I'm curious, like considering the logistics in New York and considering the stuff that you had to shoot, like for that specific part of the New York portion, like what were you allowed to do? Like what were the challenges?
The challenges were actually like nothing camera creative related, taking myself out of it, like the camera cars, like none of that, like beyond us. Like there's no real limitations there. They had the money, they had the cameras, they had a bunch of people stationed, helicopter, arm car, all the stuff. GoPros on the rig, on the Formula One car.
That scares the fuck out of me. I think he sent me one of these pictures, and it's like a full camera rigged on an F1.
Yeah.
I was like, that thing is gonna fly the fuck off.
Yeah,
Just grip it good.
And get a
just
hater.
some gaff tape. Yeah,
But the car is not the current car, and it is not the current driver. It's one of the factory driver, like he's an ex-Formula One driver,
Right, yeah.
and he's using this car that's meant for promotions and demos and things like that, because the real car is so valuable. It's invaluable because it needs to work,
Yep.
right? It's the same thing with the driver. So this car is like, you know, it's out in public because it's New York City. You can't lock it up. So like you pull out onto the street, wow, the thing is loud. And, you know, it's reverberating. It's not, we're not in space here. It's reverberating off the walls. The crowd gathers really quickly. The team leader from Red Bull goes, shut it down. They bring out a drape, they throw it over the car, or they push them to the side. It's like, no, we're not doing this here. If any behind the scenes photos come out and it looks unsafe, then
Wow.
they shut it down.
It's more liability
it was,
stuff.
That was the biggest problem. And, you know, there was a couple of times where it's like, we're somewhere and we're trying to do a shot and the crowd is so massive. I almost got into a fist fight that day. And the crowd is so massive that they're like, we cannot do this here. And then security on top of the police, on top of us, like pushing people, like, hey, get the fuck out of here, you know? And then eventually, like, it calmed down enough where we pushed the Formula One car into a spot where, like, it doesn't look like it's too close to people, and then we can go do the shot. It was so difficult to keep people away because it's so loud, it's so brash, it's so fun. Like, imagine you're a fucking tourist in New York City. There's a fucking Formula One car in the streets doing burnouts and shit. It's like awesome.
yeah.
You guys went through one of the tunnels too, right?
We did.
Or-
Did we do tunnels? No, we did bridges.
The bridges.
Bridges,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that was another video. That was something else they did. They
Okay.
rigged it
Yeah, we were doing 100 on 100 on the FDR.
You were doing 100 chasing the car?
What?
Yeah, and they're like, hey, just pull up alongside him. I was like, I'm sorry. Do you know the difference between these two things? I got 6 dudes in this car. 6 dudes in this car. And this is when we had the Ford. So it's 6 dudes in a fucking Ford. And we are hoofing it. And I think it was like 3 or 4 days beforehand. It was super cold. And I felt like the suspension was like gonna go. And my shocks blew. And they didn't blow completely, like I wasn't like loosey, but like we were floating. And it was like the shocks were way softer. And I think so we're out there just floating around. And I'm like, I can't feel where my tires are. We're going as fast as I've ever fucking gone in New York City.
Yeah.
And that was one of those days where they were like, you go to see the cops that you see on all the jobs. And he goes like, hey, there's no speed limits today. I'm like,
Shit. Like from I'm gonna say production standpoint. I don't know the actual what I'm asking. What is the benefit of actually I feel like through the camera going 50 has to look very similar to going 100, right?
Yeah,
like is the shot that much more dynamic?
There's a technical thing. That car can't go slower than 60 for too long because it needs the airflow to cool it. Okay. Yes. So if you're
you going 60 in a Ford Edge is much different than you going 100 in a Ford. Like, why couldn't they slow down a litle bit for like? Is it really just the dynamic angle?
So as the space gets bigger, right? Like, okay, so now we're on the FDR alone. Mm-hmm. So now you have multiple lanes, depending on which part of the FDR you're on. Yeah. And then there's the water out that way. And then the buildings are offset. Right. It's like, well, you're kind of far from everything. So you need to go a little bit faster. So the relative speed, if he's going 65 and I'm going 65, is 0. Right, we're going the same speed, and if you need him to go away, or you need us to come up on him and like kind of then look profile and get the things whipping, it's like we're already shooting at a fast shutter, so everything's kind of sharp. It's like, what's the answer? Is go fast.
Okay.
That is not the answer most of the time. Most of the time, I agree with you. Like we could do it at 30, we could do it at 40, and it's going to look awesome.
But it's just that very specific scenario.
And oftentimes you're going like, you're doing something in the car, and they go, "Oh my God, we were flying!" And it goes, like, "We're going 35 miles an hour." It's just we were doing it. We're just doing it so close to somebody else, and like if you're looking in a monitor and you're like 85 mil, and I'm like, a lane away on a wheel, and then I tap the brakes and the camera comes back, you go, oh my God, we moved in relation to them. It's just like that lens is so long, but you do it on a wider lens, they don't think it's that fast. So it really depends on what you're looking at. I've had a director in the car go, whoa, 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 and like scream, like, and I was like, oh shit. I had like, what didn't I see? And I go, what? And he goes, you're too close. I go, this is like 8 feet. And he goes, well, it looked close. I go, you asked for it to be close. I'm getting it close. But he was in the monitor, and we were on a long lens, and they wanted the badge, to fill the frame. So how do you get the badge of a car during car?
Fucking close.
You get close, But he was like, in his mind, the rate he doesn't know what I'm doing. He's not looking ahead. I'm looking ahead. So your job is to stay quiet and get, like closer, further, higher, lower, maybe like tighter, wider. Those are the kind of directions that I need. Not like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like, unless it's...
It's very specific. That's a good direction.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I say that, but I'm also partially kidding. If you know what the fuck you're doing, like, tell me what you want. But we typically don't scream, whoa, 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 every time the grips pick something up because we're like, whoa, it's going to tip over. It's like, no, it's a dolly party. It's a dolly party. We're going to just move it because it's heavy and 4 of us. Thanks.
Well, I'm not surprised your suspension blew out on the FDR. Like,
it's just.
I couldn't even imagine going 100 on that road.
That thing is so
without
sketch.
the 6 dudes in the car.
There's this one yump in the middle of it, and it's coming at a speed where because it's big and it's empty. It's like I can kind of see it, and I've hit it at regular driving speeds before, and this time, especially with the suspension being a little extra soft that day. I hit that and I was like, man, we're going to be flying. We're going to be in the air. Like it just felt so bad. And it sounded like a gunshot in the car. I was like, God, that's not good for this car. Yeah. And it was fine. It's fine because I replaced that suspension 2 weeks later anyway when we got the parts in. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. But,
You're just constantly going through like consumable car parts. Like you're just constantly
Yeah,
changing.
suspension blows out. Like now on the fancy cars, with air suspension, if your air blows on a Mercedes GLC or the Porsche Cayenne, it's like you're looking at like probably like 10 grand for the fronts. If you're going to do all the bags, like maybe like 20 grand.
Jesus.
So, you got to take care of it. You can't be like, I'm not going to drive it into set because those miles
Right.
are just
Yeah.
like, you're not paying for them. You're really not. Like they're not paying for what it's worth. It's a $180,000 car. We're beating the shit out of it. It's a 1,500-pound crane on top. 4, 5, 6 dudes in there. We're banging off it. Like I have to drive where you tell me to drive, so I'll have mechanical sympathy and I'll try and avoid some potholes or bumps or whatever. But I'm smashing stuff because the camera needs to be here. Yeah. Well, this car is going to slide through this intersection, and here's a near miss, and then he's going to go up over. It's like, all right, well, if there's a pothole and I want to avoid it, tough shit. I'm hitting it. And eventually, these cars, they break.
Is that worked into like contracts with production, or is
Well,
that
I mean, listen,
entirely
if we break,
independent?
it's like anything else. You smash a filter on set because you dropped it. It's like, okay, well, replace the filter. It's just the filter's $300 and, suspension's 10 grand. It's like, but that's, if you're doing stunts, that's what happens. These things happen, right? You need to drive fast or hard over rough terrain, and accidents happen. They're not really accidents. They really aren't accidents, but like shit happens. Things break. Unless it's like I drove it off of my trailer and smashed it, which would never happen. It's like, then yeah, you're paying for it. Or your insurance company's paying for it.
Right.
That's the misconception. It's like, well, what if something breaks? It's like,
But that's
is
part
that-
of
is that
part
what-
of not driving it to set. Like we know what happened on set because this was on a trailer before it got here and it was fine.
yes.
Yeah. Also, if something does happen, how are you getting home?
Right. Now you're trailer.
There are
Like-
situations where we'll like we'll like pipe out our truck and we'll do like little budget gigs that way, and we'll throw over the gear in the back of the truck and we'll shoot some stuff around town. It's like, yeah, because you're a small production, you have like 2 vans to your whole production. I'm not going to eat up all of these resources with this giant arm cart that you can't afford. So it's like, well, we have a solution for you if you are a small little thing. And really all it's doing is like streamlining the grips and the camera people coming together to put a Ronin on a thing on the back of a van or a truck, or doing some shitty rig stuff where the guy's hanging out the back with the Movi. It's like, it's a great way to, if you're worried about insurance and replacing things, replacing the human is incredibly difficult. So don't put the humans at risk. And then,
Yeah.
So pop this beer.
sheepishly, like you should have done it like you wanted it.
I don't know, to be a little respectful
It's
to
a
the
good
audio guy.
punctuation.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
button.
true. That's true.
So TCD, what's it like dealing with TCD in New York? Like, have you ever had any problems with them? Obviously, there's no locklist, but you must deal with them all the time just to like shoot in New York.
Yeah, I mean they're cool.
Yeah.
Cool dudes, cool ladies. Like, we're not breaking the rules. We know what the rules are. We'll do everything we can to get you get the camera right where you want it, but we're not gonna. That's our relationship with these guys, and we got to work with them all the time, and we got to see them again on the next job. So I'm not going to be an asshole. So like they're cool to us, and we're cool to them, and it's been good. And yeah, every once in a while you get somebody who's new and they're like a little like extra stern about things, or we were getting the reflection of my license plate in one of the cars once, and so I covered the license plate, and they were like, "You can't do that," and I was like, "I know the like letter of the law versus spirit of the law kind of thing." We were like in a pretty private location too.
You
and I
are
was
watching me.
like, yeah,
I'm still here.
but like they did it like a dick, like on the megaphone. Don't do that. I was like, oh, this guy's okay. Well, maybe he's new.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let it go.
That's like saying like every single car commercial, like the license plate is painted the color of the car. Like you can see the outline of the letter. It's like that's illegal. No shit, it's a car commercial.
It's a-
like what the fuck do you like?
Yeah, that's true.
We're making a lie.
The car we're shooting is also not street
Yeah,
legal, so it's
like-
like why does this matter?
I remember you mentioned earlier that you maybe or may not have gotten pulled over by TCD on a job. Like,
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
that happen?
Yeah, again, we're cool with them. They were cool with us.
Yeah.
It was this out-of-town director, out-of-town director guy, out-of-country guy, used to shooting on the West Coast, and he wasn't getting all of the little things that he wanted because with the limitations that come from New York, and I think there were some other like logistical problems earlier in the night, and we're shooting overnight. He's finally getting something that he like really likes that's happening behind us, and the day is done, like the night is done, and they're like, we lose the cops at, I don't know, 4 a.m, whatever it is. And it's like 4:01, and they're escorting us back, and then we're gonna park, and it's over. And this is really early on. This is our first car with our second crane. So this is like still our first like year and a bit into working. As I'm about to make the right to bring us back to base camp, he goes, no, go straight. And I go, oh. And I go straight, and I'm driving, and I go, what? But, oh. And then the fucking whoop, you know, and they pulled us over, and they go, what are you doing? I go, talk to that guy. And then he goes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He was trying to squeeze like every ounce of juice out of it. And I was like, and when I rolled the window back up and we turned around and went back to base camp, I kind of chewed him out a little bit. I was like, hey man, like I got to work here tomorrow.
Right.
Like, you're fucking up my relationship with these guys. You're talking shit about New York the whole time, and now you're gonna leave. This means nothing to you. It's like, and he was super apologetic, but it's like I think he's just very practiced in his apologies and his like, you know, his demeanor. Like I think
Doesn't actually mean it. It's just like, it's canned.
which is which is fine. He did on paper. He did the thing. I got to give him the credit for apologizing, but also like, I told you what it was. You didn't do it. I had an embarrassing moment because of it, but it's like it's a fun story. Nothing, no damage is done. Not like nobody got hurt because of the negligence or anything. It's like it's just a stupid, funny thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got pulled over by TCD.
Oh man. Well, I don't think for me anything can top F1. But are there any other cool car like celebrity things?
Talking about Formula cars, yeah, Formula E.
Oh, okay,
the
cool.
electric cars.
Yeah. Did you work on a Formula E shoot?
Formula E came to town to do a promo for the race. So they brought out one of the Formula E cars, so they're electric race cars, and one of the safety drivers, he drives the safety car. This guy Bruno, he's awesome. He was piloting this car through the city, and they were way more lax in terms of like where we could take it, you know. But it was like, you know, cop in the front, cop in the back, just kind of. The big problem was not the battery that you would think, right? Like, oh, it's electric. What if the battery dies? It needs to keep driving because it has a little 12-volt battery that powers like the screen on his steering wheel, like his data display.
Wait, what?
So that's how it keeps charging.
Yeah.
And New York, you come up to a light, you stop. You go, you stop. Guy pulls out in front of you, you stop. So it keeps happening, right? We don't get to push people with, you know, cops aren't moving people for you to shoot.
Yeah.
You get what you get. So we're like in the middle of the road, kind of like near Times Square-ish somewhere, and we get stopped behind something, and he goes, it's going to die. It's going to die. And I'm like, don't die. Like, what are we doing? And then he goes, it's dead. And we're like, oh, shit. Now we're just in the middle of the street. People are like now gawking, taking photos. Like a little one paparazzi guy, like a well-known shitty paparazzi guy, shows up and like started taking. I'm like, oh fuck, what? This is not good. This is the opposite of advertisement.
Yeah,
this is bad press.
It's like people are like, look at these fucking stupid things.
And it's like it had nothing to do with the rig or whatever. But now it was just so embarrassing to just be like sitting out there being like, yeah, you know, these things happen. Shit happens. Shit breaks. It's like, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
It seems like, you know, I understand weight is a concern, but it seems like if it's just a 12-volt battery, that someone could have rigged something up
for the sake of promotion.
Shooting,
for the sake of promotion. Yeah, but I don't. You know, this thing came off a trailer.
Throw a beam out in there and fucking
Tap on the driver.
I mean, that's ideal, but like, you know, the way these things work is like, yeah, we're going to give this to you for X amount of time. We're not going to fuck with it. It's got to go race tomorrow or the next day or something like that. You know, this thing was like a really quick turnaround, and they put it up on the Jumbotrons, like us, like him, like kind of drifting it around corners through the city. Ideally, you would do that, but like they weren't going to.
You just don't have the time. You never have the time.
They don't have the time. Yeah. The car rolls off a trailer. The guy gets in. He gets himself comfortable. We get the radios in, and that's it. Now you're shooting, you know, and it's...
Yeah. It's just funny to me that, like, they knew that. And then they were like, we're going to drive it through New York. And they knew that. And they weren't like,
You know,
I wonder if we're going to stop a lot.
It's going to die.
Well, I think that's, you know, a bunch of guys come in from out of town and they're like, no, well, we just have to keep going. We just have to, you know, let them know that we can't stop.
That's totally going to work
go,
here.
yeah, that does. But and I'm just putting words in their mouth, but like that's just how this shit goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York is New York, baby.
Yeah.
I guess it's no different than you showing up and them not having figured out the logistics or something. You're just like, this is what happens when you don't plan.
That's why I
like,
have total sympathy. That's why like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an oversight. I think it's just like, no, yes, you can use it for your commercial. It's like, well, they don't know any better.
Right.
That's on the
Yeah,
on the
they
production
don't-
team,
Nobody asked. Or,
which was a live event production team that was like
Yeah. They wouldn't
doing
have-
something like outside of their usual.
Right.
And they asked me for like a debrief. They go like, after the job, can you tell us like all the things that like went wrong? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I wrote them like the list, and they were like, thanks. And like I was like, oh, okay, I hit a nerve, but
Yeah.
it was the truth. And if they wanted anything less than the truth, then it would have been like, that's how you make that job go well, and you have to temper your expectations often.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you've only ever worked in like the track scenario, and it's like it's going to work fine because you've only ever worked with it in that scenario. So
Well, that's
for-
like the team owner, like the company, right, of whatever Formula E is, but like the production company to not have those technical talks between
Right.
the different.
But they're a live event production company, not really like a.
Yeah, it's like they're
production
used to showing
company.
up and like you shoot the thing and it's like no, like you're like when you're making a movie, right? You're like in it with the people around you and you're all like pieces of the same puzzle. When you're shooting like a 6-camera, I don't know, conference or something like that, that's happening and you're capturing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They don't come up and grab the camera and then, move it for you and tell you it's better over here. It's like, no, that's on you to just have it there. So an event production company comes in and goes like, well, we have to do creative and we have to work with the cops. Like, they never have to deal with that. That has nothing to do with them. So I give them also tons of leeway. It's like, yeah, okay, shit happens. But, if you want to do it again, maybe they didn't get it again because it wasn't very successful.
their job is to capture the failure at that point.
I mean, we had gotten enough, I think, to we had like one nice burnout. It was a really wet, so like the water's like whipping, and it's like he wanted to go so bad.
Yeah.
Bruno wanted to fucking give it, and he was just like, why are we stopping? It's like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, dude, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't help you. I want you to party. Like, I trust me, I want it.
That should be on your shirt, on your merch.
Yeah.
We want you to party.
I want you to party.
I want you to party, but you have to pay me.
That's amazing. I know through all your experience, like, for learning all these things that you have to deal with to negotiate just shooting in New York, like, it sounds like you're really trying to make it easier on people that shoot in New York to, like, work with, like, camera cars and stuff. Like, would you say that's part of your business model too?
Yeah. It's like we're not doing a ton of commercial work here, and it's like, oh, well, I want to do more. It's like if you build it, they will come, sort of thing. But you need the right talent. It's not like New York doesn't have talent. It's like this is one of the production hubs. Like we have all the gear and all the people and all these great minds. It's like, okay, well, let's do more. That's kind of where it started, in 2018, where I kind of like put this little thing together. It's like, oh, we'll help the little guy, and then we'll edge up together. But I just don't think, I'm speaking out of turn here. It's like, or out of expertise. It's like productions aren't really working like that now. It's like every market has a rig or people, and they kind of want all the production crews to be like ubiquitous. Like you should be able to go to New Mexico, rent a studio, get cameras, get all the same gear, and go here, do all that. It's like, I don't think that New York is going to necessarily attract those clients back. I mean, now we have this great tax incentive, especially if you're going to shoot upstate. That's cool. That might bring people back, but it's like everywhere's kind of the same now, right? And it's if you don't need New York as your backdrop. I mean, how many movies have we seen where they're shooting in Serbia and they do like pickups?
Yeah,
Right.
there's so much of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shot
Yeah.
Ghostbusters in
I
Boston.
mean, that was the big thing too. Like when Canada did the tax credit, it was like everything should
Everything
be in
went to
Canada, and
Yeah.
then
Everything that blew up went to Canada. They were just like,
one
blowing shit up
day
every
in
day.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like we're going to continue to build, pull the industry to us, but you can be prepared. You
Yeah.
can like do everything you can to like get educated. Like I said, like to train. You should be up to date on all your gear. Everything should be like, well, this is what people are using over here. It's like, well, we don't have that yet, but maybe we can get that, or maybe when that does come to town, I'll know how to integrate with it. Like the volume walls, like process trailer is like, bye-bye. Who's,
Yeah.
why? Why would you do that when you could have a completely silent studio with the walls moving around you and all this shit, and you can let the actors talk, and you don't have to wait for the crackhead to walk across the street and ruin the shot. And it's like, oh, he's supposed to make a left turn here. And it's like, yeah, but we're stuck at the light. So.
Still got to get the plates though.
Right, but plates are so much easier to get.
Yeah, but
so much easier to get.
I mean, it's still the process of shutting down the streets to get the
to an extent.
plate car with all the cameras.
To an
and
extent, like
set up.
if you're shooting the outsides of the vehicles, you can also do a plate run.
Yeah.
Run the plate car. No extra. It's like it takes 5 extra minutes. So like we're done with that. Cool. Pull the stunt cars over. Run the plate car through. Boom. We got it. Like that's way easier than like this huge train. You know. So it's like if you're used to the old style and you're not like updating your production or like kind of like exploiting the benefits of the new tech, are you really staying current? Like New York has volume stages now.
Yeah.
So like we ain't behind there. You know. So. I think you have to have all the right stuff so that when they do come, they're happy with what you have for them. But I don't know if you can really like pull people to your market. I think that's too big. I think that's like political and
It's basically just like the carnival, and they're gonna go wherever the cheapest fucking thing is.
Yeah.
So whatever state is the next state that's like 35% discount, you don't have to hire as many locals. You can bring people in.
Yeah.
That's where they're gonna go.
yeah.
And that's like Chicago was like that, Illinois was like that, then it was like Mississippi, and then it was like
Yeah, now New York and New Jersey have great tax credits.
and
so-
now they do it. Now upstate does, and they're gonna, but there's almost so many places now to go
Right.
that it's like
So how far does your rig? I know you said you'll go anywhere in the country, but like your rig, what's the farthest you go with it normally?
Our market is, goes from Northeast to like Midwest. Like we're partnered with this company, Filmotechnic. They had their shop in Detroit, which I now kind of run that. If the phones ring for that, it'll come to me. We used to work there a bunch. They also slowed down, unfortunately, because Detroit's a cool place, but it's like, hard winters. It's not that pretty all the time, so it's tough. It's very similar to what we experience here, but they're like almost exclusively car commercial, right? Because that's where the big three are, all your American car companies. So that's kind of our reach west, and then our reach down is probably towards Atlanta. I mean, there are a bunch of companies in Atlanta, so it's like, it really just comes down to relationships and where you want to bring us. If you want to ship us across to the West Coast, like, it would be kind of dopey to do it, but like, pay me, sure.
Right.
Let's go, rock and roll.
Word.
And you only operate your rig, right? Or does someone bring you out and then there's like another rig and then you can drive that?
So, sort of. So I own a company and I'm running this gear and nobody's going to take it from me unless I give it to them. But on the other side of that, we're partnered in this equipment with Filmotechnic. And so if they call and go, hey, you want to drive in, Arizona next week? I go, yeah. And then I'll go run one of the rigs out there and they'll probably bring a, arm guy from over here, and a head tech is maybe going to bring the rig from Texas because that's the closest one, or whatever, whatever the situation is. They have rigs all over, and we'll tag team it, and but I kind of have my rig here so that I probably won't get that sort of prioritization over like some of their freelance guys on the West Coast, because there's a bunch more guys and more vehicles on the West Coast. It's kind of like their main hub. They'll go out and do Texas, and they'll do Arizona, New Mexico, and go up to Washington where you have all the big tall trees and all those sort of commercials, Yeah.
So aside from, I guess, the troubles you already have with like working in this market, what other kind of situations have you found yourself in on set when like, have you ever had problems with your cranes breaking or like anything like that, and you've had to just navigate that shit?
Like I talked about the suspension break, like things will break, but when we were super new with our first crane, again, not a great product, but it was a cool idea. It was like our first couple of gigs. We had been using it and it was fine. It was working. And, we do like a little rehearsal and we're moving it around. Everything's cool. And I'm talking to the DP and the director, and we're out in upstate New York somewhere shooting a Mercedes spec ad for the director, Brian Hall, awesome guy. Joe DeSalvo, DP, awesome guy. I feel bad. I want to like give these guys one back one day, but they have this great little spec ad that they're shooting, and we're all lined up for our first shot. We got it all worked out, and then my business partner's operating there, and he goes, something, hold on. And I go, okay, we go out and check it out, and just manufacturing error. All the wires were spun up inside the crane, and we like did surgery to try and fix it on the fly. couldn't get it fixed, and that was our first real shitty rig moment after starting the company. It was like, oh, well, this car is attached to this crane. This crane is broken. It's the first shot of the day. So open up that hatchback. Let's put the gimbal in the ring, strap so-and-so in with some fucking bungee cords or whatever. I suspended the Ronin ring to like these hooks, and so like it was kind of like suspended in the trunk.
Oh, yeah.
And with bungees. And it worked, but we didn't use it a lot because...
But the crane is still attached to the car.
The crane is still attached to the car,
hilarious.
like this.
It's just
But it's not like straight and it's not flat. It's like this. It's just like out there. So we had to like disconnect all the motors and just like, and like move it into place and then strap it up and be like, oh, fuck. But we shitty rigs it, and we stayed the whole goddamn day like making sure, like if they need something, we're here to do the job. The thing broke, but I'm still here to do the job. You know, it's like I didn't sign up to like not drive something, to not get a good product. It's like, we're here to grind it out. We're here to jam.
Yeah.
But that was the first crane break. Second crane break was after a job was done. Same manufacturer, but like a different crane. Just like, we're packing it up and we're moving around. I'll move it over here so I can get to this piece. Okay, bye-bye. And then he just goes, did you turn it off? I didn't turn it off. Did you turn it off? It's like one of those things. And that's, it's fancy robots. There's a bunch of motors, a bunch of encoders, and all this stuff that I don't know. I don't know what any of this stuff is.
Yeah.
But it goes. Sometimes it goes. Yeah, everybody had a Movi break, and it was probably user error.
Right.
But these are things that like user error is catastrophic. So if it just stopped working, it's something inside the guts, and you have to give the guys that are running that gear some leeway to be like, let's go investigate, because you usually got to take panels off or disconnect a bunch of shit. It's it's a pain in the ass.
What is the mobility range? Like, can you do a full 360 with the cranes? Like, I'm assuming you can't keep going.
To an extent. I mean, you do like 3 or maybe 4 revolutions.
Oh, interesting.
Some cranes have slip rings. A slip ring will allow you to, all the connections are made in a way where the thing will go forever until you burn out the slip ring, the contacts. But it's not really beneficial. Somebody wants to add a thing last minute, you go, I have to drop another line down through the thing, through the donut hole of the crane. It's so much easier if you don't have the slip ring. So you can only do maybe like 3 or 4 revolutions before all your wires are tangled up and you have like, all right, we got to go undo it now.
Unback, yeah.
But like I said, in New York, you're not even barely able to swing the arm. So it's like you're going front to back. Maybe you went back to front on the other side because you had to. It's like, I got 3 more of these. The day will be done before we have to do that.
Okay.
So, but doing a car commercial, if you're, doing like a move all the way around, like, you should pay attention.
Okay.
Same thing with the remote head panning.
But it won't stop itself. Like it will keep going until it fucks itself up. Like there's no safeguard in where it's like
a robot.
No, you.
Well, I mean, like when I'm driving a Condor, sometimes it'll just stop turning left, and it's because the person that dropped it off fucking already did a 360 or something like that.
Yeah, you can set. Some cranes have the ability to set limits, and you can like set a limit at like 1,000 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
So just to keep spinning it. Ask my business partner,
right?
Because he's.
I guess most of the time you don't need to do that.
No,
so it's.
I don't know what his limits are set to. Don't hit the fucking car. Don't hit the ground. Yeah. If I had to operate, which I don't, but if I had to operate, I'd go through it and I'd see if it's on. But like I'm sure it has some sort of. It knows exactly where it is. It's got all the sensors and gyros and blah 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 blah. It's fancy. Super fancy.
And it's a joystick. If you're gonna.
Yes. So the, Europeans will do, up, down, left, right. Americans, or, the whole Northeast basically doing, or North America is doing up, down, left, right on joysticks. And the camera also works the same way where there's 2 joysticks, but the left one is usually for like zoom and roll, and the right one is for pan and tilt. But then you could also use hand wheels if you're a camera operator and you like the hand wheels, which I don't necessarily suggest depending on certain things you're doing. But you have the wheels and joysticks, but the arm operator is on joysticks. It's a cool little carbon fiber looking desk with a bunch of buttons that you're not supposed to touch.
Ejector
Is there a
seats.
benefit between, I guess, wheels, joysticks, or is it just operator preferences?
All right. If this room was shaking, would you rather have the thing affixed to your lap where you're all together and then you can operate like in a controlled manner, or would your elbows be suspended and you're like trying to move the wheels? When you're doing stuff where you're kind of dicing it up, if you're operating the wheels as a camera operator, because that's what you're asking, because you're a DP.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this and you're suspended and your body's going like this and you're trying to hold a shot. Maybe you're not trying to move and then, oh, okay, well, they just moved. So there's unwanted movement. So then you start building in like, oh, let's build a little damping or a little like a dead band into that control. And then you try and do like a really slow move and you go, it's not fucking moving. It's not, why is it not moving? It's like, because you're bouncing other times, so we set it a certain way. They go, well, I don't like it. So we'll operate a fucking joystick.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you can plant your hands. When I operate, I'm tense after the day is over because I'm putting a lot of pressure down, so I have like total control here. I don't want that thing moving at all. And so if I'm bumping, it's like it's with me.
Well, I'm thinking about driving a Condor because a lot of people like you see a lot of guys that are like when they do it for the first time, you've got the joysticks, like that's how you're doing it. But if you bump it too hard, and then you get kicked back, and then you bump it even harder, and then you're like, oh fuck, like and so it's like it all stacks on top of itself.
When you hit the speed, when you're like when you're accelerating and you don't see the speed bump, and then you hit it, and you like,
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, there's a curb. Oh shit, I can't stop.
Why don't you just let go?
Dude, it's like
You don't want to let go, though.
No, because if you let go, because now the thing you're holding on to is your support system.
Okay.
So it's like if you let go, now you're just free floating. It's like,
See, that's the thing. If it's in your lap and you're one of my operators, my head tech slash camera operator, Ryan Celestia, he's a gangster with the joystick. He goes, sometimes he's operating, and if he has a shot that he likes, he kind of like goes soft on the joystick, so he's not really holding it until he knows that he needs to start adding. This is a guy who operates live TV joystick like 3 days a week. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
He goes, well, sometimes if I feel the bump coming, or if I call it out, like, hey, there's a big pothole or whatever, he'll just let go. It's like, because the shot will be better if it's just locked here and just not doing anything than him like, oh shit.
Trying to fight around it. Yeah.
I don't do that. I go death grip. Maybe it's my anxiety. Maybe it's my anxiety. Yeah. It's like I'll crack my teeth, but
It's the New Yorker. You're just like, I'm not gonna let this bump beat me.
That's true. He's from Florida. I'm from Long Island. Where it's a different vibe.
He's like, whatever, it's a bump. You're like, no, fuck that bump.
that's awesome.
But it's like it's an operator preference. You would say joystick.
Yeah, I would say like if you're doing really slow controlled stuff and you really want to isolate your axes, is like, okay, the wheels certainly have a place. One of our cam ops who's been like working with us a bunch from the beginning, Blake Steigerwald, he used to do when we were using like Movi XL, that setup, you could have the desk meaning the controller, the joystick, above the wheels. And he would do a thing where sometimes he'd be doing this, and then he would like turn it off and then switch to the joystick if we had to do fast turns.
Oh, interesting.
And instead of like constantly riding the variability of like the speeds and all that, he would just be like, no, I have this set for my beauty, and then if I need to just fucking get in there and rip it. Not all the systems you can do that. You don't have the space to do that sometimes in the car. Or sometimes people are like, they're wheels guys, they don't do the joystick. Or vice versa. You're a drone op who's coming over to do this. It's like, you've never touched the wheels before. It's like, I don't expect everybody to be able to do that. But I think that people underestimate the joystick and how intuitive it can be and how quickly you can adapt to it. I mean, I used to be a camera guy, but I don't do much remote camera operating on set because I'm driving the rigs. The few times I've had to do it, I crushed it because I just have enough experience now to put it into like, okay, well, maybe I'm not good technically with the joystick, but I will make up for that in anticipation and like listening to the car and like working with the other guys that are maybe more experienced than me, who's driving the car, running the arm. And that's been fucking great. Like I've done 2 or 3 legit jobs and crushed all of them, and I was like fucking surprised afterwards, like, oh shit, okay, yeah.
Death grip.
Yeah, but like that's, I know all the things, but I don't do them every day. And it's like, well, I was able to do them. I'm not special. I have more experience. Yeah, sure, seat time, but not operating the thing. You can do it. You can do it too. Like, you're a fucking camera operator. Yeah. These are the tools you've been given. You're gonna shake around in the car. Try the joystick. Try it out.
I think there's just like a bit of snobbery. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a joystick.
Sure.
I like the joystick.
Sure, but from what? From what? From drones? Like, where do you get your joysticking?
Drones, and when the Ronin 2 came out, I just used the joystick.
Yeah, it comes with the joystick. So you're like,
Could it be
Like you
video
said-
games too?
And
But I
think it is
feel
video
like you're
games.
saying like the snobbery, like when a gearhead comes out and like a camera operator's like, I'm using a gearhead. There's like this kind of level of like,
Well, yeah, I think there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some thought that like you can't really get the high precise like movement
that you
with
can't
a joystick.
isolate an axis is the thing.
Exactly.
Well, what if I just want to pan? It's like, I don't know, be better at the fucking job that you have, which is panning. And I'm sorry.
like-
I'm serious. I'm sorry, but I have controls for pan and tilt speeds. You go like, if you have two hands and you're like, I just need to pan, turn it down.
Yeah.
Turn it down to nothing, and then you can be sloppy and you'll still look like a boss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're doing with wheels, is you're ignoring the other wheel when you want to do, so
It's also just way easier in my brain to be like, if I'm going on a 45 axis, I just push the joystick
Yes.
that way.
And-
Versus
Now I have
like,
to go in.
okay, now I got to go a little bit this way and a little more this way.
I mean, but listen, there's some people that they've done so much Etch-a-Sketch when they were a kid. They're so good at it now.
oh yeah, that's
And it's-
actually, that's the wheel training right there.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's not what I'm not fighting that snobbery. I am fighting logic here. It's like, I know when we hit that bump that I'm staring at, you're going to fuck this up. So I'm telling you before we hit it, you should try something else. And then you go,
Nah.
I'm a wheels guy. It's like, all right, bro.
Wheels guy.
Take it to your I mean, we've done chase scenes where the operator's on the wheels and it just looks like we have the shaker box on. It's just kind of like doing this. It's like, yeah, because when I hit the gas, it tilts up.
Yeah,
Because his hand would do the same thing every time. It's like, okay, you hear the radio. 3, 2, 1. It's like, okay, so you know that on 1, we start to see the car and it goes sideways and I push in behind it and then we do-si-do and I'm on its left. And then when we go over that other thing, I'm going to cut to the other side. You know the body's doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So fucking do something about it. But you can't operate the wheels with your elbows in your sides. You just can't do this, and this is not good. So you have to use the fucking joystick.
Yeah.
I mean, or get the best wireless you can get. I mean, we have wireless for them. Operate from a cart on the side where you're not moving. I'm totally fine with that if it technologically, if it works.
The range is,
If the range works, which I haven't really had to do much wireless like that, but like,
So say you're doing that operation, is there like a convoy of other people behind you like following this, or is it?
what are we
just-
talking about? Are we talking about
So
point
you
to point?
got you got your 6 dudes in the arm vehicle.
Usually it's 5. Six the person will get in the way of the arm operator. The arm operator needs to be able to turn his body to look. So I don't care that your client wants to sit in with it. Get the fuck out of the car.
Okay,
It's 5 including you.
5 dudes in the arm. Is there like another car? Say you're shooting from the front.
Like a video van or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Usually
so
I don't want them that close, but
No,
yeah.
but they're
if they-
sending video out of that
100%.
car all
Yeah,
the time. Okay.
Yeah, like 90 some odd % of the time,
yeah.
there's a need for that second vehicle.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So there is like no real issue if that person.
That car's also hitting bumps too. Like it's like what I'm talking about is like maybe like if you're shooting stunts and you're going point to point. All right, he slides through this intersection. We stop at the end of the block. Okay, cool. Well, maybe you can be on a cart over here. You know,
Just be line of sight to wherever the camera
if it's
is.
possible, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my solution for like, I don't know how to use a joystick. I'm shooting this second unit sequence. We're gonna do some sliding, bumping, and
yeah.
I'm gonna do the old bump and grind. It's like, okay, well, that's maybe the best way to do it. I mean, maybe we should try it because
Yeah.
I'm tired of having people get in there and I hit the brakes. Like you lean forward, I hit accelerate, you go back. I turn to the right, you lean to the. It's like your body's moving. I
Yeah.
can't make you more. I can't strap you in harder. Like I can't. I'm sorry.
could.
This is if you have like a big camera audience, like this is where they will start to dislike me. But it's like I'm not saying that you are not, that you shouldn't be proud that you spelled your name with the fucking wheels. I'm just saying that in the camera car, it might affect you negatively and you might not like your results. So maybe you can use this other thing.
What is
Yeah.
the order of operations in like priority of like the car, the picture car
Sure.
has its track. And then you're working around that, or is sometimes like they're like the camera movement's more important, so we want the camera to do this. Like who's actually the one like
First of all,
dictating who's
First,
where?
I need the setting. Is this a car commercial? Is this a TV show or movie or something like what is the setting, right? So like if we're doing a car commercial, we're doing something that's called running footage. Running footage is we have this stretch of road, or maybe it's like 2-mile loop, or maybe it's just like up and down a highway or something, and we have X amount of time on this road or space or speed or whatever to get all of the shots they have in the day. And they might say, oh, well, you know, it's all like the boilerplate stuff. I need this angle, that angle, this, and I'd really love to do this. I go, okay, well, the sun's over there, so why don't we push so that the sun is, you know, backlighting the car? Okay, great. So then we're going to do all the rear stuff. That decides where the orientation is, maybe like the aesthetics. And, you know, then you're going to be like, give me, what I do is I usually give them like, give me 3 things. Like, you want the rear 3/4, and then you want the this, and you want the that. Okay, and then I will try and get you those to my best ability in that amount of time.
So are you directing the stunt driver in the car you're photographing?
I am the only one in a car commercial setting talking to anybody or talking to the picture car driver, unless it is like, you know, maybe they have a second radio from production for like, smile or something like that. If it's like, you know, you know, like, you know, it's real. It's like,
be happier.
But often I'll tell them like, hey, director says smile. You know, it's like the reason we don't have this. I don't want the director going, okay, a little faster, a little closer. It's like, well, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
They know that I'm the only one. These people in this car, they're a little faster, a little tighter, a little this, and I go, a little closer, please. That's it.
Yeah.
I pinched a little walkie on my finger. I go a little closer. Closer. Okay. And that's it. Like, but I distilled all that bullshit down to closer. They don't care like, oh, it's not, I want the badge. I don't want the headlights of this. I go, okay, well, I'll pull them in.
Yeah.
That's where having your team.
You're like translating the.
Yeah. It's
the nonsense.
A lot of, this is where having like a decade of camera nonsense behind me is like.
'Cause they're like pan.
I know
pan.
Everything's a pan. Yeah.
Can you pan the car in?
No, pan the car.
Left or right? Up or down?
That's what you got. You got pan.
Oh my god.
You pan into third gear.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's like a car commercial saying, I'll do that. And maybe we get to the end of the loop and we got to go back the other way. It's like, well, now the sun's on the other side. So let's pull them through here. And then we do the next 3 things that are on your list. But sometimes we're just playing jazz. Sometimes we're like, okay, we got everything we needed. Like, go get it. Like, go get what? Like, you know, one operator told me, try and fuck me up. It's like, all right, well, I'm just fucking, you know, trying to move them around and like, it's fun. You know, the camera's moving, but if that's the vibe. If it's not, you know, you might try and exploit some things that you saw along the way that you think like, oh, maybe that'd be cool if we come off of that onto this, and you know, but that's how that goes.
But so in theory, they're hitting their marks and you're finding them on their marks, not necessarily they're coming into where your camera is.
Depends.
Yeah, I think it's a combo.
So like, let's just say, you know, we're behind the car. I can't say, you know, come back to your mark. You know, I'm going to push into them. But like, if I'm looking forward and they're behind and I say like, okay, I need you to accelerate into this rear 3/4, hold a beat, and then speed away, we'll kind of set them up. You know, it's constantly making these adjustments. There's no hard and fast rules in that. I've had a driver who could do nothing. And I had to do I had to make them look like, there's a car commercial for like a fancy car brand in New York. We had great access to the roads and all this. And it's just like between the DP, like not getting it. Like he was like, you know, a little space cadet-y despite having like a ton of experience. And the driver was just like, not my guy, not the person I wanted to hire. They hired somebody else because of some other politics stuff. And it's like, they didn't call me to stunt coordinate. They called me to drive the arm car. And I said, well, who's driving the picture car? And they go, this guy. And I was like, that's a model. Like, I'm going to give you a stunt guy. And then they were like, well, hire this other guy. He's got more pedigree. This guy, he just never... He was always within 2 seconds of me making the call. He was never on time. I was like, okay, well, I need to, and I felt the director like starting to boil. And I was like, all right, we're in it together though. Like I feel you, because he hears me starting to get angry on the radio. So then I just start moving the chassis by myself. It's like I'm looking forward, slam on the brakes, land in that 3/4, and then fucking slam on the brakes again. So he just had nothing. And I feel bad, but like that's like one of those things where it's like, what's the shot? I'm going to bleed for the shot. We're going to get it. I don't know what it is, but like I can't tell you that there's a hard and fast rule on how to do it, because what if we're working with a model, an actor, a person who's, you know, we've gotten guys like, oh, he's from Chevy. He's here to protect this prototype, but we need to shoot this prototype. And he's like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, go 30. because I'm gonna fucking everywhere around the car, and then you start getting in front of him, and he starts backing off, and he's like, "You're too close." You go, "Yeah, we're good. You're not looking, but." I don't have control of that. Those are politics and business stuff that are beyond car commercial world. The other side of that is like the theatrical stuff, like stunts. It's more point to point, right? You're doing a chase scene. Who's doing what? It's like stunt coordinator is, the voice of safety. They're the voice of God in this situation. They're going to tell you where they want all the puppet pieces. But I will put my 2 cents in, be like, hey, I think, to get the camera where you need it, I need to be here, or I need this much room to make that happen. Like maybe that doesn't physically work, or I can't chase him around this corner at that speed. I will flip, So like you all work together. We're all making the same movie.
Yeah.
We're all making the same car commercial. It's just there are no hard and fast rules. Like what is the best way to executing the plan that was on paper to make the best product? It's like I'm not going to do it if I can't do it. I'm not going to tell you I can and then try and flip it. Like we do all the things that we need to do within the technological parameters we're working in, within our own personal abilities. Some guys, or maybe some arm operators or camera operators, are not good at doing other sort of types of moves. It's like, okay, well, this is what we have. Let's fucking work within what we got to make it pretty.
Yeah, but you're also operating within your own scale of safety too. Like be able to know like what the car can do, like how to punch the brakes or like how to accelerate.
Right, because you're carrying a lot of weight. Like you step on the brakes one too many times, you go like, all right, my brakes are fading. So the take that we just did, you want to like that, but again, it's like, well, did we get it? Because this next one, I might be like through that brick wall. So maybe we don't do it again.
What's next on the list?
Yeah, right. It's like, can we just do some slow rolling shots where we let the air get into the brakes and cool it down?
When you're like essentially you're kind of directing this whole operation.
Tricky there.
In a way.
Tricky there.
In a way.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. In a way. I'm not trying to take away director's shop. Don't come at me, DJ. But you are at least like in some way like
I am distilling
a little bit.
I am distilling with all of this experience that I've gathered, all this shit that I keeps me up at night thinking about. I've taken all the words and all the thoughts and all the like little the decks that they sent and all the like, we want the vibe to be like this. All right, cool. Give me all that shit.
Vibes.
Give me the vibes. I'm gonna distill that into the fewest amount of words I can in real time, or the most words I can in prep, in the safety meeting, whatever, to tell people what we want to get. And then when it happens through my walkie.
Your translator.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't want to add my creativity on top of your shit. I'm done DPing. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want the product to be really good, and I might have a good idea, and chances are they're going to be like, yeah, that sounds great, because that adds to it. Car stuff is, what if we add this shot? It's like, why not? If we don't like it, we throw it out. We're here.
Exactly.
We're here all day shooting this car. Maybe it's like, let's try that one thing. So I'll throw it in there. I'll try every once in a while.
Yeah. Did you do like stunt driver training or anything like that? Or
Yeah. Stunt driver training.
In his backyard. Growing
he
up,
just tested his own cars.
You know what's funny is I was the least likely to get into stunt stuff when I was young. Like
you had a Honda Fit.
You want to learn how to slide a Honda Fit?
You already told me.
God, what are you talking about?
The handbrake in your EcoSport? Yeah, okay. Let's party, dude.
Party. We got to party.
Pay him first, though.
That is the new slogan. It really is a Metro car. You want to party?
Pay me.
What were we talking about?
Stunt driver
training.
school.
All right.
Yeah.
So the thing with the stunt stuff, right? It was, I always wanted to do this. I had this tab for a stunt driving school open on my computer for the longest time, and I just never had the ball. I didn't understand what stunt driving is, or how do you get into it. I would watch like a Bond movie or something, like fucking awesome. How do I want to do that shit. I didn't know until later on, like, oh, well, I could be on the other side of the camera and with those guys, because there's maybe like a high pedigree of people, or people that are older than me that have this experience. They should be doing these jobs. My time will come. Okay, everything in due time. But maybe I'll try this stunt driving school. Maybe not. Got a phone call one day. Hey, it's a non-union car commercial thing from a producer friend of mine. You look like this guy. Do you want to double him in this? It was a Kia Stinger when the Kia Stinger first came out, so like 2016. Do you want to double him in this car commercial? And I go, yes. Like I'm not a stunt person. I had done performance driving stuff. I had always wanted to do, like, I think what's better in my hands than it is some fucking random person. I'm not going to do anything stupid. It's an all-wheel drive car. I'm going to like spin it and whatever. I was like, all right, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And then when the job was done, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I felt like I took somebody's job, though. I had this little like guilt, like this like good boy guilt. I was like, well, somebody's been training, like they should. So I called the stunt driving school. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And they go, okay, come. I went, drove for a couple of days, learned the stuff, like the basics of what they're doing, which is totally different than all the performance-oriented stuff that I was doing. So now I'm like, oh, okay, I have to learn how to make this look fun or make it look big. It's pageantry. You want smoke, you want noise, you need to go sideways. I was doing like autocross, like time trial races. Like you're trying to be as quick as you can through that. Like, no, it's not about being quick. All right, now I learned all that stuff. Now it's on you. Buy a car, practice, get into other forms of driving. You should learn how to drive on loose surface. You should learn how to do some drifting. You should drive front wheel drive cars and rear wheel drive cars. Like you need to try and slide SUVs. Like you have to keep your training going. And a big thing I did was after I started the camera car company, I brought the camera car out to train with guys. And that's how we kept sharpening the sword. But the stunt driver training, you can come at it from like, I'm a retired NASCAR guy. It's like, oh, great. You have tons of wheel time. You just need to understand what we do and then do some car acting on top of that. You'll get it. You have so much wheel time. That person might have a career in stunt driving, but they might be completely uninterested in fighting, falling, doing all that other stuff.
Right.
So that's where it's like, how do you learn stunt driving? It's like, well, you get a little bit and you go do a bunch of other stuff. And then hopefully somebody hires you to finally drive something. You don't get to just like, let me keep training for it. Like, for what? If you're not good at everything else, they're not going to call you to do anything else.
It's really weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like I asked about rigging once because I had a bunch of grip rigging experience. And I was like, you guys are hanging truss. I hate the way that looks. Well, like, it works for them because they're the ones that are using it. But it's like their riggers are the same people doing the stunt and everything like that. That's their team. It was really weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I feel like the whole industry operates that way, where it's like you go to film school and you learn things, but you don't get the real experience until you just start to fucking do it. Like it's a catch-20.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Isn't it good when you are young and you like try a bunch of different departments and you kind of get well-rounded in a few things, and then you go like, oh well, I know what I'm not good at. Yeah. I'm not going to do that, but that also stops you from, say, like a job comes up, it's like, oh, you're the double for, I want you to be the double for so-and-so. And you go, okay, cool. Well, there's a lot of driving. That stunt coordinator knows not to call you. It's like, oh, if I'm not a good driver. It's like, well, they're not going to call me. Or they're going to call you to do all the other stuff and call somebody who's just a driver. Like, that's how that works. Like, the stuff that you're not good at, it will become evident very quickly, and then you will likely not get to do it again. So, like, practice, train, whatever. Like, the problem is in New York, the stunt school doesn't operate very often. And so how do you get good? It's like, it's on you. Just keep trying to get better all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any component that like you think AI is going to affect the way that you do things at all?
Well, we were talking about this outside.
I was interested if you were seeing like the writing on the wall, because I feel like a lot of departments with the technology and with the strikes that just happened, it feels like a lot of people that I'm talking to are like there's an end and I can see it in the distance. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I see it.
I have one real like on-set experience with like how quickly they were able to decide that they'll just fix it later. Right? The fix it in post sort of thing. It's kind of hard when you're like sliding cars and burnouts and all this. But because all the elements are moving so much, it's like, well, how do you track this thing? We weren't planning to do it with any sort of CGI or anything like that. But how quickly they were just like, yeah, we'll fix it. I'm like, whoa. I'll tell you about that in a second. But just sitting at home, saw a TV commercial of it was a Hyundai, maybe one of the electric Hyundais, driving on some random road that I couldn't tell where the hell it was, and it's like changing color as it gets closer and closer and closer. I go, oh, that's a fake car. It looked pretty good. And then like it drove past camera, and then it's like in the studio or like a studio setting, and it's changing color. And I go, oh, that whole car commercial was fake. And I was like, they Gran Turismo'd it or whatever. It's
Right.
all just like, and I'm like, well, if they just really wanted those 2 shots, they didn't really need us for that. I wonder how close that is. It looked, my parents wouldn't have been able to know the difference.
Yeah.
Joey, did you shoot that one? Like, no, I didn't. So I don't.
They have that car too that like the wheelbase changes
the
and everything,
mill,
and then you
the
just
mill had the Blackbird. That's
Yeah.
what you're everybody references this thing. It had an expandable wheelbase and track width and sensors all over it, and it was very tricky, and it did not work all the time. Ultimately, we're beyond that. I
Yeah.
don't think that has much value anymore.
that's like a cool BTS thing, but
Yeah, right. It's like a guy like in this like little Formula,
skeleton.
like a little Formula 3 looking car with like stealth fighter
Yeah.
pads on it, and it's like it was weird, but like I think that you don't even need that anymore. So we did a Bentley photo ad with a Volkswagen whatever. Audi A8 because it shared the same roof and the same wheelbase. So we're doing this photo ad. We have a phase 1 photo camera in the rig. Shannon Madden's on the wheels, just like lining up the shot. And we get this photo of an Audi, and they go, yeah, but it'll be a Bentley when we're done. It's like, cool.
Weird.
But that's stills.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the Wolves movie last February, right? It's, the director and DP from Spider-Man and shit. It's John Watts and Larkin Sepul, right? They're like, they know computer-generated images better than me. We're, stunt guy Casey O'Neill is like throwing a 180, and then we had these dogs, these BMW dogs. They just would not. They had no power. He could throw it and he could get it to kind of power out, but there was no pageantry. The tires were not spinning. It wasn't a very beautiful burnout. But Casey's a gangster. He got it to do what it needed to do. And, we were all, George Cottle, the stunt coordinator, and Casey and I were standing around going like, no, let's fucking do it one more time. And they're like, nah, fucking, we got it. We'll just make it more, and then it was that easy. And I was like, oh, but we're here.
Right.
Don't take it away. Like, let's, part of us doing this thing is like, we like doing like,
Trying to push yourself and
yeah,
getting
like
it.
get
Yeah,
it,
you
fucking
wanna,
get
Yeah,
it.
you want to do
It's like,
it.
yeah, the technology, in this car is hurting us. This BMW stunt car or whatever was like, the handbrake was working, the steering wheel worked, but like, just didn't have a lot of power. The computer, the traction system kept coming in, and even though it was maybe defeated, it's like, all right, well, something's wrong, but like, let's solve the problem. Like, that's fucking filmmaking, right? Nah, fucking, I don't think that's the wrong choice. I mean, in that moment, these guys know that you don't have to overwork this crew in this moment and all this stuff, but like, they're enhancing what we did. Okay, all right, now we're in tricky territory, or it's weird,
Right.
I don't know how far that goes. I don't want it to go any further. I don't even want that to happen. But like,
Well, it's because VFX didn't have a union at the time, so they can work those guys to the fucking bone.
Yeah.
but like, where is the end of it though?
Yeah.
Like, is it next time? It's like, yeah, Joe, just line the camera up over here, and you got the stopwatch out, and you go like, cool, that's enough time for that car to go away. Okay, cool. And you go, what? Did we shoot it? Like, yeah, we shot the plate. Like, if that's the next thing, it's like, I'm out.
It takes like all the fucking fun out of it. Just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it, but
you're like, you're not cooking anymore. You're just
And it's not like that-
reheating shit.
And it's not like the VFX guys appreciate that shit either, because they have to then all do all the fucking work. Like,
Right.
that's the reason why all these people are now probably going to form a union, because they're basically creating all the shit that they could have done practically at some point. It's like, well, now we have to spend 1 billion hours making
Right.
this shit. You should have just at least half-ass
well,
got
if
on
it's a
set.
billion paid hours, then they're making more money than everybody. Then that's great for them. But
Yeah.
But I
But
think
not if there's a
that's-
shortage of those people that are good at it
For sure.
or available to do it. You know what
sure.
I mean?
But I think that's the union will push if all of the VFX people unionize, it'll push some of that work back to
But the real issue with VFX is that it can be done anywhere in the world,
yeah.
and you can just send that
Right.
thing wherever the cheapest.
what was that movie that they did? Like, they had people all over the fucking planet, like building like little pieces of people and putting them together. I don't know the reference, but there was like a movie where they were like, oh yeah, he's animating the leg and he's doing the arm, and
Yeah.
Oh.
Frankenstein this thing
I
together.
mean, there's like, if you look at just like any movie that has a bunch of effects, there's like, yeah, there's a house in New York, there's a house in LA,
Oh, there's
a
20,
house somewhere
yeah.
else, and then there's like a house in Ecuador, there's a house in Poland, there's a house in, like, it's like,
Yeah.
But I think we talk about this a lot. I feel like every time we come back to it, there's always going to be that one purist. There's always going to be that guy that wants to shoot it on film.
So
There's always
don't
gonna be
hire him. That if it's about money,
No. I know
the studio would just be like, well, this guy's he's persona non grata. We're not going to fuck with this guy.
The most recent reference that I can get back to is Christopher Nolan's been talking about recently. Like he knows that he's one of the very few people that has access to the crazy fucking shit that they give him. Well, no, not even just that, but just like the resources to do any fucking project he wants. So he consciously thinks, I have to keep doing these big projects because who the hell else are they going to give this to?
He brings the money.
So it's one of those things. There's always going to be that one guy, or like hopefully more than one person, but there's like, why do we still shoot 35? Because some people still fucking love shooting 35. There's always going to be someone that wants to be that purist that goes back and doesn't want to do it in post.
But it also only serves that medium so much because at some point it's like
I'm not saying it's enough to fucking run the whole thing forever, but
he's like becomes kind of like a one-trick pony because it's like you only shoot IMAX, and then it's like, all right, well you clearly shown that like not everything needs to be shot on IMAX all the time.
Right. You know? I heard this is Tarantino on an interview I heard recently. Right, he was like, well, Howard Stern. He was on Howard Stern. They were asking him about, what do you think about Marty Scorsese saying Marvel movies aren't movies, and which this opened me up to like kind of new ideas here. Tarantino goes, yeah, but to like a kid who's like 16, who's all he's seen is like fucking from Iron Man 1 up until now. It's like those are movies. Yeah. It's like, okay, so for the next generation, face filters and all this, like that is going to be for them like what moving pictures are. It's like, well, a computer generated image telling the story might be just as good to them. Yeah. So like, there's like an age thing going on here. There's are we at the head of the technology or at the tail of the technology? Where are we in that trajectory? But also like, what if you get that Nolan type who's like, I'm going to push the boundaries of like what I can do on my keyboard and make a box office, mega hit. And it's like, well, that would be a crazy fuck. I hope, delete this part. Don't tell this guy that it's a good idea. But like, maybe somebody does like an AI fucking movie and it, as the kids say, it slaps.
Someone will do that. 100%.
I just like breaking John. I have a couple of moments where I just like break John.
That's hilarious. It slaps. Hashtag it slaps.
Hashtag it's fire.
Was there like a shoot or like a job you ever did that like you were super excited to do it, and you've like to this day you think about like, man, that was such a fun like camera car like job that I did, and that's like it's a kind of a reminder of like why you keep doing this stuff.
When you think about how little time me and my company have had to like, I'm not coming. We're this is like a formal setting. We're having an interview. You're talking to me. Yeah. I'm not the guy. Right? You gotta fucking look at this. This is a microphone.
Yeah, this is my button up.
Super formal.
Mike's wearing a button up.
Normally Bert's in shorts.
This is a formal informal setting.
Formal film. It's relative.
But I'm coming at this from like a, this is the beginning of my career.
Okay.
Right. This is not like I'm the old grizzled vet who's done all the cool shit and I was on this and that and Fast and Furious 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. It's like I haven't had the chance to do the things that are in my mind, like the things that I'm eyeballing for the future. I have had a couple of great opportunities, but we're in TV town, right, in New York, right? So I'm gonna get to see all of these great stunt people that I kind of like came up with, driving with, and like met through the years. I'm gonna get to see them from the camera side, get to live their fucking dreams and get to do their cool shit that they want to do, and that the stuff that they sacrificed their health for and their backs and all this. Like, oh, you get to slide the car or jump the thing and do it. Like, cool, I'm gonna be there for that. I'm gonna make sure the camera's in the right fucking place. That's my job. But how much have I done so far that I'm like, oh, I'm super proud of? It's like, we've had a bunch of good results. So yeah, that's great. But like, my brain doesn't even work like that. Like, there's no compliments, there's no proud, there's no pat on, like, no. Like, we're just getting started. We're 6 years in. We had 3 years of COVID. We had, how many months was the fucking strike? And like, all of this time was a grind. In my barely 6 years of owning this business, this is still like
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what are you proud of? It's like, I'm proud that I can still feed myself. Like, that's it. Like, most people would have quit by now. Key Grip, Ted Lehane, one of the first things he said to me when we started showing him some of our gear, he goes, yeah, you just got to last long enough. And I was like, what? What kind of fucking advice is that? He's fucking right.
Yeah.
You just have to stick it out long enough to where you have to be prepared. So when the opportunity shows up, you're fucking ready, and you got to do everything you fucking can to do a good job. It's like there's other people on the other side of this that are trying to do their best job, and it's like you don't want to be the person who holds them back. I'm a role player, right? Like the whole business is a role player. We're all even the DP is a fucking role player. Yeah, you have creativity and all your shit you want to put in there.
Sort of.
But it's like the bigger thing is the project, the product, the end result, what the audience will see. And it's like, if my job is to drive 15 miles an hour and then the arm goes up like this and it drives out into the distance, and that's the only reason they called us, it's like, yeah, I'm proud of that. That's great. We did it. Okay. Exactly how they wanted. They forgot our names. They forgot they called us. The check was 3 weeks late. It doesn't matter. It's like, that's the job. So hopefully I can answer that question differently in the future, but fucking AI is going to kill us before that. So.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Do you have any advice for anyone that's interested in camera cars or interested in, like, this kind of work?
Don't. It's always
I mean, you
don't.
said that earlier, but...
The answer is don't. The answer is don't. I will be brutally honest, right? No, I will make jokes.
As we know about your email that you send after the job, you're brutally honest.
Yeah, well, they asked for that. This one, you didn't ask for it. You asked for like a cute, like, yeah, like follow your dreams.
No, I didn't ask for that either.
Bitch,
I said
shut up.
advice.
Yeah.
Fuck your dreams.
Listen,
It's your advice.
there are, if we're talking camera car, right, there are only so many opportunities. The pie, right, meaning the pie of work, never gets bigger. The more people that come into this market, the less of that pie you will get. The mistake that I made, not the mistake that I made, the smart thing that I did was I got in at a time where there was one other company locally, and there was us, and then everybody followed in and they bought these rigs and whatever, and like, they're not working. Why are we working? It's like, well, okay, well, it's all I do. I literally did nothing else to make this thing work. So the only advice I have is like, if you're going to do it, do nothing else. Like, obviously make money and do whatever, but it's like, I'm not going to call you to drive for my company. Say I'm busy doing something. It's like, well, I'm not going to call you to drive for me if I don't know you. I need to know that you will do as good as I can do. It's like, okay, well, how do you do that? It's like, well, you train, you have all the technical knowledge, you have all the experience. Like, well, how do you get that? It's like, I don't know. Like, start from the bottom, go be a fucking intern with some other company. Like, I don't know how to give you advice on how to get there because my path was different than somebody else's path. But we are saturated in this market. There is not enough work going on. They're cutting budgets. There are crews all over the United States that have rigs that are sitting, collecting dust. Do not get into this business to do camera cars. You can go drive for somebody else. You can learn how to run the crane, operate the crane for somebody else. You want to be a specialty camera operator, go learn how to be a head tech and learn how all those systems work and learn how to solder, learn how to weld, learn how to drive a fucking trailer, get your Class A, CDL, do things that make you more valuable. But I can't give you advice on like how to kind of pursue the thing that I'm doing, because if I give you any real good advice outside of that, like too specific, you're just going to be fighting me in the end and I'm going to crush you.
You don't dabble in owning a Porsche.
Yeah, but that's, I had to end it on a joke because I felt like I was a little too real. But it's like I'm being serious. It's like,
no, man, be
you
real,
have to get your
honestly.
skills up. You have to be like, I know how to shoot, I know how to rig, I know how to drive, I know how to prep the gear, I know how the head works, I know how the crane works, I know how to fix the car. It's like, you have to have all those things. And I have to be a salesman. I have to be, like, I'm charming enough to book enough jobs to feed myself, but I'm not charming enough where I'm, so charming where I can be, like, away from people because I'm so goddamn rich. So it's like, you need to have enough skills to get yourself to the party. And if you're there and you have the gear, that's great. I would just buddy up with other people that are better than you. That's the best advice. It's like, go find another company. You know, there's Metro. There's, you know, in New York, there's, you know, Action Camera Cars. Good luck getting in with them. There's, you know, guys down in Atlanta. There's guys in Florida. There's guys in Texas. Like, where do you live? Go say hi. Go ask questions. If you really want that life, fucking good luck, you know?
But you wouldn't recommend this life.
No.
Okay.
Totally honest. I would not go be a Steadicam operator or something. I don't know. Like, there's... No, really, it's like
There's
the
easier
You
ways
have
to
to
make more
fucking
money.
love it. You have to, like,
Yeah.
really fucking love it, because...
yeah, well, there's like, I love doing the job. You know, it's the things like, oh, they pay me to commute or they pay me to travel. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's, you know, it's like, yeah, the job is great. The job sucks. It's hard.
Yeah.
I have 5 people. There's 5 people in the car. I have to not kill them. Barrier to entry. Don't kill them. Don't kill the director. Don't kill the DP. Don't kill your buddy. Like, you know, that's how that goes. But it's like, and I have to execute. And your adrenaline's up. You're doing. You have to be calm. You have to be collected. You have to be working in this weird, chaotic space. You have to do some choreography. You have to get all the points. And okay, cool. And sometimes you have to be creative. Sometimes you have to do evasive things. Sometimes you have to have all these logistical problems just to get to do the shot at 0 hour. It's like, it's filmmaking. That's what it is. But it's at, you know, the expense of like my health. I don't get to live close to the city. I don't get, you know, I don't get to be where my gear is and then also be like proximate to where all the jobs are happening. It's like, so I do a lot more travel. Okay. You're a DP. There's a 10-day shoot. How many days do you work? Probably 15. You get a couple of days of prep and then you shoot the day. One day.
Yeah.
So how do I live comfortably? It's like, go back to being a DP. How many fucking DPs are there?
Just shitload.
That's right. So how do you do what I do? It's like, why do you want to do what I do? I got in because I didn't know. And now you asked me the question, so now you know, so don't do it. It's not great. Like, you know, we make okay money. People go, oh man, I wish I made what the stunt guys are making. It's like, okay, so you have a guy who has a bearded guy, right? And he's this height and this complexion and that general weight or size. It's like, how many days is that guy doing that gag? Well, that's how many times you're going to double that person or be used as a utility. Maybe you have other skills, rigging, whatever. It's like, okay, so your earning potential is X. Okay, is that better than the grip who works every fucking day on the show? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. The crew work more than everybody else. I don't know. If I did it all again, like to save my sanity, I would not be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm a little pot committed. I'm financially committed. I have a business partner, and
You're stubborn.
Certainly. but also like I said, like I'm task oriented. Like at the beginning of this interview, I was like, yeah, I'm task oriented. It's like, well, now the job is to fucking win.
Yeah.
So I'm here. They all tried to crush my cute little company, you know, when it was just and I'm like, well, now that's fine. I know I'm gonna win. You know, it's
Yeah.
So I have that stubborn thing, and it's like, all right, well, now I'm here. Okay, might as well.
Just you with
Keep
the joystick
going.
and that
Ride this
bump.
shit
Just
out,
riding
like-
that bump out.
But like the film industry is hard. Like we're so spoiled.
Yeah.
We have such great like crafty.
We get to do fun things.
We get sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's really fun, and like, but there's all this hard shit that people don't understand that go into it. And being in the specialty world, it's like, I'm sorry, but my overhead is crazy.
Yeah.
And
it must.
my overhead's crazy without like, if you had the space I had and you wanted to put a rental house in there, you can make so much goddamn money. But mine is like, it's just enough for these like 3 or 4 vehicles. And they only work like one works one day here, one works the other day. They don't all go out every day. It's not C-stands.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tricky. I would say partner up.
Yeah.
Strengthen numbers.
So when you're doing these, maybe you don't know this, but like stunt driving, you know, you're doing these things with like modern cars.
Sure.
Are you disabling some of these features to get the things that you want to do? Like, because I could imagine, you know, like I did something with an R8 and it was like they wanted it to do this thing and it just like wouldn't fucking do it.
What do they want it to do?
They wanted to kind of go like sideways on the thing, and it's like
It's all-wheel
it will
drive.
force you to
Yeah.
not do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all-wheel drive, right? So the front wheels are also powered. So like overpowering with the rear to overstep the front, it's like, well, then it's got traction systems. Oh, I turned the traction control off. It's like, no. You turned off as much as they would let you turn off.
Exactly.
So you got a little wheel chirp, but it's protecting you. It doesn't want itself to crash. So what do? It's like, well, you can pull out the wheel speed sensor so it doesn't know how fast the wheels are going. Okay, you can pull out the ABS fuses and things, and so maybe you can slide the car. It's like, okay, you can add a handbrake to the rear. It's like, okay, but it might go into limp mode. Limp mode is like, I know something's wrong. I don't know why it's wrong, but the car is broken. Therefore, you can only drive 15 miles an hour. Like some cars will do that. So you have to get in, you have to tune them. You have some software guy go in there and tweak some stuff, but that's car dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can slide a Mustang, but like, can you slide a example I guess would be an like an Expedition? It's like maybe not.
Yeah.
And a lot of these cars have like little like parking brake finger buttons now, so they don't even have like hand or foot brakes.
Electronic now,
so if you show up on set and you're like, oh, this car is not prepped, so I just have a regular ass car. The answer is probably like, you probably cannot get it to slide. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take this car that you rented off of fucking Turo and put a handbrake in it? It's like, no, you're not. It's like, so you have to understand like what's the action that you're trying to get. It's like, you can probably get any car to kind of do a reverse 180, but you can't get every car to do a 90.
Yeah.
I have a daily drive an Audi A3. It's a cute little thing. It's basically a Volkswagen. It's not an Audi. And a little finger parking button. It's like, in the dirt, I can get it to kind of rotate, but like with expertise. Not like I can't get it to. I can't just like rip a thing. Like, it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just wants to go straight.
Is that part of like when they call you and they ask you to do something? Is like one of the first questions you ask, what car?
Okay, so are we talking about me in front of the camera?
Well, I guess if you're stunt coordinating it or something, they want, or like know,
Okay.
it's a car commercial or anything like that. It's like,
Okay.
how involved are you with like do you even care what they want that car to do, or is that beyond the scope of your job and you figure it out when you get there?
Okay. Well, if I'm coordinating the commercial, then yes, I want to know. Say I'm not coordinating the commercial, I still want to know, because I'm still going to be the guy fucking talking to this driver who's doing stuff. But if I'm the performer and they ask like, hey, you want to drive on Tuesday? Like, you generally just say yes if you think you're capable, but like, it's on them if they want to give you that sort of information. So let's just say it's a car commercial and they go like, we're doing the Chevy Equinox. And you go, great. It's like, I know they don't want that car to do anything.
Right.
They don't want, like, it's a fucking
family,
Equinox.
yeah, just family driving.
But what if it's, like here's, like, I'll find a weird one to answer that question. The Mustang Mach-E, the electric Ford. You might be like, okay, it's still sort of a sporty car. Maybe they want us to slide it. It's like, well, it's fucking electric. I'm not getting in there and pulling shit. Like, I don't know.
Right.
If it matters to Ford, if they're like intimately involved with it, they might have an engineer on site to do something. If it's a big enough ad, they might have somebody modify that car. If it's a prototype and they're just going to literally destroy it after, the year's done, yeah, maybe they can put a handbrake in it and you can force it to slide. Every car is different. Every situation's different. It's not, I don't really have like an answer for that. But to that question, it's like, yeah, sometimes it won't go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you did all the things right. To my example about the BMW on that movie, it's like sometimes it just doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Because like you did all the things that you had to do, you pulled the fuse, but something else is not relaying. It's like, oh, maybe it's the sensor here or something. It's like, how much time do you really have to play with it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like you had someone maybe on your team that was skilled in like flashing like the computers of the. That's like a whole different. Well, because you were saying you were in,
cars usually have
you're into
like
like performance car racing, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, so it's like,
What if you kill the car?
Yeah, I mean,
Mike doesn't care. He's behind the camera.
I totally hear it, but I'm also like, what is it? Is it a 50-50? Like, or is it like a 90-10?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, the run-of-the-mill stuff, like, you're not really doing, you're just accelerating away, you're stopping on a mark, they're really not trying to break traction a lot. And then when they want to, usually they want to break all the traction.
Yeah.
You're shooting out in, loose surface. That's great. It's like every car will throw some dirt and loose surface. So it's like everybody looks like a hero there. So that's kind of cool. But like getting the car to rotate the way you want it, it's like, well, if I'm if I'm working that job, I might be like, well, let me hire somebody who knows how to really drive in the dirt and who maybe has experience driving big SUVs in the dirt. And like, you have to kind of move that body around a little bit. Or this one's got a transverse engine and it's front wheel drive biased. It's like, well, getting that car to flick is different than, a car that you can lock into rear wheel drive or like maybe has a rear drive bias. Like, so they're going to perform differently. They're going to act differently. So you get somebody who knows how to fucking drive it.
Yeah.
It's like the best you can do is like you have the best minds and the best gear that they'll give you, and you do the best you can within reason.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I just love when I see commercials where it's like a car that shouldn't be doing like slides and burnouts. It's just like a Corolla or something like that, and it's just fucking rip.
You can slide a Corolla.
No, I know, but like that's not
But
a
who's
car
going to?
I've slid a Corolla.
Or like a minivan.
That's like you having fun on the weekend. Some random like a dad, like a
No.
45-year-old dad of 3 isn't going out.
Like Paul, it's like pulling out a supermarket and it's just fucking like burning out.
That's been car commercials were great.
I fucking loved commercials. I remember there was like a minivan commercial where it was like basically they were like racing the minivan. It was like, yeah.
I mean, there's those new ones now that it's like they're basically filming an action movie and they're like, but it's not an action movie. This is a car commercial.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
There's like 2 or
Is there
3
like
of them. I forget
like a
what
series
brand
of
it is, but it's like they're just like they're filming a car chase scene and then they're like, but it's not a car chase. It's like it's a car commercial.
I think the legal side of advertisement has, these car manufacturers, they have to deal with so much like, well, you can't show people doing this or doing that, or it has to be on a closed course and all this. It's like they probably just don't want to show the cars in that light very often.
They've also like killed all the comedy out of most
comedies.
ads.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
Like there's no ads today that are like comedic.
Super Bowl's coming up.
That's the only way that comedy gets infused is during the Super Bowl. There's no like.
I mean, Super Bowl happened.
Ads. I mean, I have a bunch of ideas for comedic car ads. Give it to me.
The Super Bowl. So I always hear the term, and you used this term earlier, Russian arm.
okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
when people say Russian arm, where does that term come from when they're describing the car?
And what?
Why?
Like why? What? And also like
I saw there was. I was like, why? Just go with why, and then I was so the auto robot was like the first crane car little thing. You could put it on anything and swing it around. That was that was like Soviet era tech, right? Soviet military tech turned into camera tech, and it was like to balance the tank, weaponry. So it's like, okay, that technology makes it into film stuff. Those guys speak Russian. They make this cool auto robot that they're putting on cars. They come over to America, and everybody goes, yeah, it's the Russian guys. It's like because they're speaking Russian. Soviet Union, whatever the borders were at that point. But like now those guys are, what we have is the Ukraine. So they're a bunch of Ukrainians. So the term Russian arm is like the Kleenex. It's kind of like the, and I think there's some like copyright shit about that, but I don't know anything about that stuff.
I honestly didn't know if it was Ukraine like the country or Ukraine.
So now, because of the political situation we're in right now, they don't want to let people keep saying the Russian arm. So it's like now it's called the Ukraine, not UK, but like Ukraine, like the Ukraine. And that's, so the company that we work with, Filmotechnic, they're like one of the granddaddies of this fancy technology. So we call it the Ukraine. But that's roughly the same lineage of tech as all the other companies are using, whose intellectual property got split here and there and started their own company and whatever. It's everybody's got their Ukrainians and their engineers and whatever. But like, that's where it comes from. It's like Soviet military tech turned camera tech, given a nickname because Americans were like, yeah, they speak Russian, whatever. Now it's here. And that's like I'm not a historian. That's as much as I think I know.
It kind of checks out.
Yeah.
Like,
It's good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, taking military tech and adapting it for filmmaking.
That seems like
It seems very logical to me. Like it translates to other things.
I guess, do they drive tanks with a joystick or with wheels?
I don't know. I mean, like, are they on the road?
You go into the tank and there's just a guy with the tank off the wheels.
Pan up.
Oh my Lord. Well, on that note, Joe, thanks so much for coming on the show and
This
for
was fun.
just sharing so much about Metro camera cars and just your experience as a stunt driver. And we'll put your information in the description so people can find you. But I know your website is metrocameraCars.com,
Yep.
right?
MetroCameraCars.com. Instagram. There's not a lot going on in the winter, but it's at Metro Camera Cars, all one word. Yeah, fucking hit me
And
up.
if people have questions, they just hit you up.
I mean, you call me, shoot me an email, whatever. MetroCameraCars@gmail.com. Yeah.
Cool.
Come see the gear if you're in town. We're in upstate New York. That's where we keep the stuff. You want to come see the fancy
Three
tech?
new crane techs right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to.
Like I said, the pie's not big enough. You guys are gonna have to fight for it. So.
He will crush us.
Thanks so much for watching,
Thank you, Joe.
guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Throwing beers out.
It's empty.
Let's party. Oh, yeah. Dude, you got to get shirts that say let's party.